up, man? The real Coach JB here, live at it, coming right at you, right out the gate for the Coach JB show right here on YouTube every day, 6 a.m. Pacific. I don't want to make my main man wait. I'm just going to give you the quote of the day real quick as we always start off. This show is brought to you by CandidateCBD.com. Use the promo code CoachJB and all caps gets you 20% off and free shipping. So everybody on TikTok, everybody else live out there, come on over to YouTube Live right now as the great Patrick Queen, Baltimore Ravens starting linebacker, will be joining me right after this intro. Make peace with your mirror and watch your reflection change. That's quote of the day. Go look in the mirror and make peace with that thing and watch your reflection change. That's just some real talk. Contrary to belief, we'll get into it. I got to ask a poll question. What gift describes your mood today? I can't wait. Drop them in the chat. If you have one, drop them in the chat below. Whatever gift describes your mood today, drop it in there. Emoji, GIF, whatever it may be. Whatever that old weirdo stuff you guys do is on this Fearless Friday. Without further ado, though, I got to bring my main man in, Patrick Queen, starting linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. Pat, what up, dog?
What it do?
Man, chilling. I appreciate you. You on your phone?
Yeah.
Hey, can you turn it sideways? I get the full effect. I just learned all this. There you go. Hell yeah. Were you at the crib?
I'm in Texas at a little apartment while I work out and stuff.
Oh, okay. Man, so listen, I appreciate you joining me again, man. I gotta ask you. You saw Megan Thee Stallion last night?
Yeah, I seen it.
Hey, man, I don't know if you got a wife or girl or not. I don't want to throw you in trouble, but I was like, dog. I even had to comment. I was like, she wearing them motherfuckers, boy.
Yeah, they sit there in our group message, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay out of this one.
Hey, I was like, damn. You know me, I'm out the rap game nowadays, man. I can't do the mumble rap stuff, man. So I stay out of it. I didn't even know really, too much about her, but I am going to investigate. Man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I just wanted to be clear with everybody, man. Like, real recognizes real. And I want to let everybody know, not once did Patrick Queen ask me what we would discuss or any of that, because I think I'm real and I would never put you in harm's way. And I'm not here to talk about Lamar Jackson, dog. I mean, that's something that everybody else talks about. I just want to have you on because you came on a second time, and I appreciate you coming on, man. And you got a hell of a story yourself to tell. Having said that, what's up with Lamar? I'm just fucking with you. What's going on? You fish a lot, dog. I've been seeing you out here fishing. You a saltwater or a freshwater cat?
Freshwater. I hate saltwater fishing.
Really?
Yeah, it just takes too long to reel in the fish on saltwater.
Damn, all the big dogs are out there though.
Yeah, but the bass hard to catch.
Yeah. So you bass fishing?
Yeah.
So all lakes?
Yep, lakes, rivers, ponds, whatever it is.
I gotta go fishing, man. I ain't been fishing, man, in 30 years or something, man. I gotta get back out there and go fish, man. I gotta go mess with you, man. So your off season's in Texas?
Yeah. Last year was in Louisiana, then I was moving around a little bit, so I just came straight to Texas this time.
Let me ask you this. I know you frequent video games, dog. I gotta ask you, what's the video game of choice right now?
The show, MLB The Show.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a baseball geek.
You run across Kyler Murray live on that shit?
Nah, he don't want no smoke though.
Kyler don't want no smoke. He got the other shit, whatever the other video games are. Man, let me ask you this. Seriously though, I gotta ask you a question. A lot of cats want to know, like, right now we're in a weird space, social media, all this type of different stuff happening. In your opinion, man, what's the greatest challenges for athletes today? Like what you face today? You young cat. What are you, 23?
Yeah, 23.
23 years old. What do you think nowadays with social media, nowadays with, all the availability that the fan and the common naysayer, the hater, dog, my boy Bradley Bill get into it with fans because they talking crap to him about losing bets and stuff. Like, how much has the game changed from when you used to watch it as a kid till now? Like, if you had to tell anyone, what's the greatest challenges that you guys face today as pro athletes?
I think it's just like people don't want to give us an opinion no more. I think that's the hardest thing. Just as being an athlete, they expect us to be perfect about everything. They expect us just to roll with whatever they say. I think people's opinions are not factuated now. It's just stupidity. Everybody just want to say whatever comes to the top of their head, not look at the facts. So when it comes to stuff like that, I really don't care. I'm gonna say whatever I gotta say, and if you got a problem with it, I'm gonna say something about it too, because I don't care. So
do you see a problem with former players going over to media? And I know there's a lot of banter back and forth, like a lot of NBA cats go at it with Kendrick Perkins. They like, you sell out, whoop-de-whoop, or whatever. Do you see that issue right now? Like, do you see football cats? I know KD goes at it with like Barkley and
I've seen that.
like, is there that thing in the locker room, kind of like, man, damn, Randy Moss used to be one of us. Now, even though Randy don't really be out there talking mess, but like, is there guys out there like, man, you used to be one of us. Now you acting like you don't know what we go through. Is that a thing nowadays with people that transfer over to the media from the league?
I think it's just like I think like the KD situation, like KD is a great player. Like, yeah, you could say he ran to go win and stuff. So I mean, it could go both ways, but at the same time, you can't take away the greatness that he has, the kind of player he has. So I think for him, it's just coming from a respect level, like you're not respecting like who I am as a player. So I can see him getting into it with Barkley and all that stuff. But the Perkins stuff, I'll be seeing Perkins tweet on Twitter, and sometimes it's cool stuff, and then sometimes he's just way off the point. So I can see why people go back and forth with him. I think it's just the point. Like I said, everybody got an opinion now, and it's not always factuated now. Some stuff gonna be just people mumbling.
Like, what's my man's name, man? Perkins going back at it with Redick. JJ Redick, the shooter, they be going back and forth, and you know, everyone's talking about ESPN making layoffs, and Disney owns ESPN. They're gonna make 7,000 cuts, and Stephen A. Smith may be one of them. And it's like, dog, it's business first. I gotta ask you, do you stay out of the business when it comes to this thing? Like, you know, all the rumblings with Lamar and the media and what he gonna do and all these different things. Do you stay out of the business side of it, and is that mostly what the roster does, or are people waiting to see what happens next? Who you guys get in the draft? What big time free agent makes a move? Or do you just grind, work out, go do you, fish, chill, and let that upper management handle itself?
I'm a grinder, man. I'm just whatever it is at the end of the day, I'm gonna just take it and roll with it. Of course,
you don't care who's playing alongside you, really.
No, I do care.
I mean,
at this point, I can't do nothing about it. So I mean, I'm still on that contract. So, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to win. I'm a grinder. Now, of course, like I'm looking at long term, like are they gonna be able to pay me stuff like that? Because obviously, I want to get paid. So I mean, it's just a wait and see moment. Like I said, nothing I could do right now. I think like the Ravens got until like May 1st or something to pick up my 5th-year option. So that's a month away. So we'll see whatever it is.
Is that what's next for you? 5th-year option?
Yeah.
Man, time flies, dog. Time is moving. I got
fast as hell.
Jermaine Johnson plays for the Jets, who was my kid on the show, and then you know, we'll have another kid. I think I'll have maybe another first rounder this year. I got to ask you, I was talking to him. He's going to come on the show. Let me ask you this. Personal accolades are big, I guess. You know, if you had to rank them nowadays, it's different now, dog. The marketplace has changed. Like Lamar wants a bag because, in my opinion, he's deserving of the bag. Because if Deshaun got the bag and Kyler Murray got the bag, he's deserving more than both of those guys, in my opinion. So he deserves the bag. And then I have my own opinions. I go on all these other shows. Everybody's talking. He don't have an agent. It doesn't hurt him. Laramie Tunsil just signed without an agent. Oh, that's a left tackle. That ain't the franchise that ain't the face of the franchise. People don't realize there's a difference. If I had to ask Patrick Queen, what's number one, like personal accolades, winning, or Pro Bowls, defensive MVP versus winning a Super Bowl? Like if you had to rank them, because that dog, let's be honest. Money rules the world now. Marketplaces have climbed, and you see, you're too young to realize, but dog, there was no big-time quarterbacks being shuffled around the NFL back in my day. Like Troy Aikman was a Cowboy. He was probably going to be a Cowboy for life. They was going to make him that. Steve Young, Joe Montana, Tom Brady for the most part, right? 20-plus years. He didn't leave. Drew Brees. Nowadays, you see cats being shopped all the time because of money, in my opinion. Money's at an all-time high. Do you think it's number one priority just like it is in any business. If you're the CEO of a company, you're chasing the big bag just like anyone else. So I don't know why people get all the hate that they get. But I am a guy that wants to be a team guy. I want to win. I know Tom Brady sacrificed to win. That day and age is over, in my opinion. You guys in this younger generation are chasing that money because the business, the companies, the organizations have paid guys big bags. And you're like, well, now that I can see it on social media, Pat, is it more like available for you to see? Back in the day, you couldn't see the money we were making. Nowadays, you can see what your peers are making. Does it make it harder now on you guys individually? Like, hey, dog, I want the same bag he got.
I think it's just sometimes you catch a few players that want to be like, yeah, I just want to win at all costs. Like that's all I want. All I care about is winning. But nowadays, I think what's up?
There's only a few like that now, though. Huh?
Yeah, it's a few. So like nowadays, it's just I want to get paid, and like you can understand that because at the end of the day, the team just want to win, and whatever that means, cut whoever go on the next day. That's what they're gonna do, trade off, whatever it is. So I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta get you. It's just you gotta be selfish because they're gonna do what's best for them at the end of the day. So I don't know, man. I'm a winner. I want to win, but at the same time, I want to get paid too. So I ain't gonna let nothing stop me from getting paid. And I don't know. It's tough nowadays. Like you said, like CEOs leave one day, go on the next day, and go and make their money. So I mean, you just gotta be selfish nowadays, honestly.
Yeah, it is a selfish business now, man, because you don't really know, man. I don't know. It's a tough one, man. As a coach, I don't know how the Harbaughs of the world or the coaches of the world now, NFL's got to be one of the toughest things because in college it's happening now with NILs and all this type of stuff. So it's basically professional football in college now because everyone in college is chasing the same bag. And that's why we got free agents who demand trades. One of your teammates, Roquan Smith, he came on. I think the last time you came on this show, he actually just got traded to you guys. Mm-hmm. And I asked you, and you stood here confident as hell. I was like, man, I don't care who comes in. I'm still doing me. A lot of rumors in the media. I kept seeing things in the media like, oh, they're going to move Patrick Queen now. And I'm like, no, they're not. You guys are going to 50. You guys are going to both be in the middle. I want to show this real quick. There was a cat that did a video and it showed you and they talked about what you do well and all these things. And I wanted to coach up the naysayers out here.
Take a look at Patrick Queen's issues and how they're fixable. Here, we're going to see him against the Colts split zone where all 5 linemen are going to zone block. The tight end will pull.
I don't want to hear his mouth. Anyway, he's talking about you pursuing to the parallel to the line of scrimmage. And they saying, okay, Patrick overran the play and then he should have squared up. This guy's not a coach by any means. I want to pause that right there. People that don't coach and don't understand what it is they said you over pursued. I say you track the rock, and this guy coming behind you better be there for cutback. And that is what football is. People don't really realize that. I want to show this play when Roquan and you in the middle. Now, Roquan over pursues, and you're there for cutback. The same thing that should have happened on the last play. So these people that put out these clips, they don't really understand it, and they don't understand coaching. But how do you like being in the middle with him? Does he make you better? Are you guys just better for it? Or are you just there doing you and going to be the best version of Patrick Queen?
I think it's like a friendly competition because knowing him, the number 1 paid linebacker, obviously he's doing something right. So, I mean, it's just ever since college, I was watching him, especially like that. I remember that one play against Oklahoma that they played. They had a sweep, a little tall sweep, and he like beat the cut block, and the dude came and he like blew him up. So ever since then, I was just watching Roquan all the time. So getting him on your team and now seeing that like you could be right there with him, if not better, it just motivates me all the more because I know like how great he is and I know how much better he gonna get. And we both young, we both still on the rise. So I think it's like a friendly competition between both of us because we be in the game, we're like, I got more tackles than you. Oh no, I'm about to get more than you. I bet I finish with more sacks than you. So we're gonna see.
Oh, that's good. That's a good thing. And he's signed and he's tied up there, right? He's there.
Yeah, he gonna be there for a minute.
So do you want to be a Raven too? Like you like it there?
Yeah, I love it there. I ain't gonna lie. The Ravens facility is nice. The people up there nice. Everything about it is nice. The team, all your teammates cool. You never had that one bad apple over there. So I mean, it's everything you can want. It's just at the end of the day, am I gonna be able to get paid still? So
No doubt, no doubt. It's business first nowadays. I get it. Let me ask you this. T. Martin, that's my boy. I've known T a long time. He's now going to coach the QBs for you guys. I wish he would have coached the QBs a few years ago, to be honest, selfishly speaking. I just, the business is crazy that way. They had T coaching wideouts. They had a cat coaching Q. I mean, it happens like that in the league. I don't know why. It is what it is. You think T. Martin is a great fit for Lamar if he stays, or for Huntley, or for any quarterback you guys end up having? Is T. Martin the right guy over there? And would you like to have seen him there before too?
Yeah, of course, because with T, he's just an all-around good guy. Like, he talks to us. He's always around us and stuff. So I think he understands where we come from, him being a player, and then we understanding that he used to be a player. So I think it just correlates with each other, and it just makes us all more comfortable with him being there. And he don't even coach me, and I'm cool with him like that. So I just know for their room, that side of the ball, they'll love it.
Yeah, T, you can't even – that's a cat I've never been able to get mad at. This cat always smiling and man, just got that he got that cool little draw, just chill. I've known T a long time. He's a good dude, man. I got to ask you this though, man. If this thing unfolds, like, do you have an agent?
Yeah.
So, like, explain the difference. Like, people don't understand. The NFL changed the rule, right? Like, agents can only take 3% of your money tops, right?
Yeah, that's tops.
Yeah, that's tops now. So that's what I was. So people think that all these naysayers talking and stuff, they don't understand. Like, no, Lamar or whoever has an agent don't need to pay more than 3%. You can if you're willing. I mean, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes has Lee Steinberg. I'm sure he got 10% or whatever because he got $500 million. I mean, there's a difference in this thing. Of course, there's rumors out there. Lamar came out and said, "I've never said anything about guaranteed. I just want what I'm worth, right? Or I'm deserving of." I think he's deserving of the bag. I mean, of course you hope. I seen you tweet about it. I know you hope about that he's there. How do you guys go about it? Is it a distraction in the locker room not knowing who your leader is or who your quarterback's going to be? Or do you just go about doing you?
With a guy like that, you definitely think about it. You definitely going to be like, damn, is Lamar playing? Damn, is Lamar going to be with us? So, you can't take that away from him, but I think at the same time, the way this organization is ran, is defense gonna win this game. Defense gonna win for us. So I mean, we don't be tripping. Like we went out there with Tyler, and Tyler a great quarterback. Like, he gonna be a great quarterback. So I mean, he putting up 17 points for us. We gotta win at that point. Like, we can't be giving up 17, even with this new league, new rules. Offense is doing whatever they're doing. We still just can't be giving up over 17 points. So it's definitely a thought going around the locker room. For sure.
No doubt. No, it would be with anybody. I'm sure it was with Brady leaving New England. I'm sure it is when anyone that leaves, like, of stature, MVP guy like that. It's not easy to replace an MVP. What do you think about the quarterbacks in the NFL? Like, you growing up, you got to see Brady in his prime. You got to see Drew Brees and Peyton Manning. Do you see the same level of quarterback now that you saw then, or is it just completely different game? Like, I know the athleticism is way greater now than it was. I'm sure you would have probably preferred to play a sitting duck Peyton Manning at points instead of having to chase around Kyler Murray or something like that. But has the game just totally changed, or is the position totally just different now? And do you think it's good or bad or indifferent? I think quarterback plays worse than I've ever seen it. But that's overall. But the athleticism is better than I've ever seen it. So I think it's just there's a give and take. Where do you stand with the QBs now playing in this game?
I definitely think it's not the same. I think the whole game all around has changed. I think the game plans changed. I think the players are better now. I think everything is just like more like spaced out now. So it's not like all condensed. I think with the quarterback play, it's just, you don't have like the guy that just want to sit there and dump it the whole game. You want the big shots. You want the one play touchdown type stuff. So I mean, it's hard to find quarterbacks like that. You still got accurate NFL quarterbacks, a extreme few, a rare few, but as far as just like how Peyton used to just sit and dump it over the middle, dig, just dump it and find the windows. I mean, you really don't find quarterbacks like that no more, honestly.
You're either chunking it or we're running RPO, we're running a little bit of double, triple option, or we're just slanging the ball deep. We're not intermediate no more like it used to be. Like, that's what I was telling people about Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts, they're running triple, double, they're running RPO, or they're taking a shot. And it seems to be that way in the NFL nowadays. Is it because they're running tempo offense, boarded, carded? We're running carded offenses. We're not really verbalizing anything in college. We're not taking under center snaps. Do you think it's all about getting the best athlete out of high school, recruiting them, getting them to play quarterback in college, go tempo, get the best players, try to win, and then they're out of there? Do you think there's a correlation with that going to the NFL, and now the NFL has to run similar styles of play because of what college quarterbacks are doing every day?
I think so. I think because you could just like look for Patrick Mahomes, for instance, the offense he came from in college and the offense he's in now. Like, he really went into a perfect fit. So I think, besides the fact that he just cold as shit, it's just everything is correlating. Like, you get to college, you could be doing whatever you want, and whatever that system is, that's prepping you for like the next 3 to 4 years of what you're gonna be doing after that. So now you get to the NFL, it's a whole new game, faster game, different language, different stuff that you got to go into now. So it's just a whole lot of stuff going on now. Of course, I don't know how it was back in the day. I know it was like mostly I formations, pro sets, and stuff like that. So
right. That stuff's gone now. I mean, shoot, you seeing 10, 11, 20, move, motion, you're checking personnels and stuff.
The only 3 teams I know still run that stuff is Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Tennessee.
They're the only ones still running like a fullback or a move H-back on shift, like a floater. Yeah.
49ers every now and then.
49ers, yeah. What if I had to ask you, man, who's the best running back in football right now? Who don't you want to play every week? Is there a guy like that anymore? Back in the day, it used to be like my boys that I grew up with, like, we didn't want to play Eric Dickerson. That dude was long. He could run by you and run you over. Bo Jackson was the most feared back in football for a long time before he got hurt. But is there any guys that, like, Derrick Henry, he's a big bruiser, I got to bang him? Or is it a guy like Josh Jacobs who can take it to the house and physical? Or is it a guy like Chubb? You got to play twice a year. Is it Mixon, who's a versatile guy who can lead? You got a lot of good ones, man. Is there a guy you fear? Is McCaffrey or any of those guys, or is it somebody that you're like, you know what, screw it, we gotta get 11 hats on the rock, and don't matter who it is?
Man, at the end of the day, I'm gonna play whoever. I'm gonna just say that first because I like playing the best player. But nowadays, I think the top 2, I can't just put on 1 and 2. I'm gonna put 1A, 1B is Nick Chubb, because he can run past you, he can run through you. He's not easy tackle at all. Upper body, lower body, whatever it is, it's hard to tackle him. And then number 2, I'm going Christian McCaffrey.
Really?
Because he can do it all. He can run through you, he can run past you, he can shake you, he can do whatever you want. So he can come out the backfield and run routes. So I mean, he got it all.
People don't understand that, Pat. People tell the common fan out here that they don't realize you didn't say Derrick Henry. Now everybody's gonna be like, "What about Derrick Henry?" Well, he didn't say his name, so
he one-dimensional. You get him before the line of scrimmage, that's a route.
Exactly. So tell people like, dog, we're gonna game plan Derrick Henry completely different than a Mixon or a McCaffrey.
Make him stop his feet behind the line.
Stop his feet. Get him back get 3-4 hats on him right away. Point of contact. Don't let him get yak yards. Like McCaffrey, I got to make sure I tackle his hip. I can't let him get outside. I can't let him free release. I might have to reroute him. I might have to pill. I might not have to cancel my pressure and go chase him in the flat. Like, people don't realize there's a lot more to a versatile guy like a Mixon, McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, guys like that. Chubb, you said, is interesting. I think he's going to be a Brown. The league, do you think it's getting better or is it declining? Your conference in particular, the black and blue. The Steelers just signed one of my guys, Braden Fajoko from the Chargers, D-tackle. Yeah, your boy. You guys all play together, no?
Yeah, we did.
He bounced a few times. I know his whole family, man. He good dude. He going to the Steelers now, man. Now you guys got to see him twice a year. It looks like it's getting better. I don't know about the QB situation in Pittsburgh. I don't know if that's the answer or not, but is the league, you think, getting better? Are you already in your in your scouting reports as far as like who's getting who, or is that just way later? You're still chilling right now?
I mean, I think it's just getting harder, honestly, because every quarterback you're seeing now is mobile. The game getting harder because it's RPO, is you got to be here for this and all. It's just so much going on now. People don't understand. Like the game is way harder now. Like you just said, trying to tackle Chris McCaffrey. If he get to the edge and I'm right there with him, before, like on the hash mark, he can still cut in, he can still cut out, he can still run through me, he can still farm, he can juke, he can do whatever. You got Pittsburgh, you got Najee in the backfield. The first game we had him sold up. I think Najee had like 20 yards the first game. Then the second game came out rushed for 100. So, I mean, it's constantly changing. The players that you see first game might not do nothing. The second game, they might come and blow up. So, I mean, it's just.
And let me ask you this: the teams, the league itself, every single team in that division, excluding yourself, you don't play yourself on offense, but like you go from Burrow and those wideouts and Mixon. So then you go to a black and blue 21 personnel, ISO power, play action, Pittsburgh Steelers team. And then you got Cleveland, which had the whole quarterback issue and all that. You didn't know who they were, the identity of that team. You knew they were probably going to struggle early, but they're still a bang team in that division. Now, you know, Watson's back at quarterback. That team's going to have him from the jump. Cincinnati is who they are. They're getting better. They probably get better up front. They're going to be a hard out. And then you guys are going to get better. Your defense is always going to have you in games. You look at that division. Do you break down each team like, man, this is a completely different style? I got to go from Pittsburgh in 21 personnel to Joe Burrow in 11 and 10 and spread out. As a backer, your keys are all screwed up every week. You're now reading the fullback and the guard compared to now you're reading the Y, the H, number 2, number 3 receiver in 3x1 or whatever. Is it totally different now as far as game planning when you go from the extreme differences in Pittsburgh to a Cincy or a Cleveland?
Yeah, because like you said, like Cleveland gonna be like the type to get to the edge. They want to get to the edge, then cut it up. It's just Cincinnati. They're gonna want to run play here. Dump, run play here, dump. So you just gotta be on your P's and Q's with your film. The coach is gonna let you know everything. They're gonna have the game plan all sold up first day you come in. It's different. Like the Pittsburgh, we played them the first time, they was trying to run inside the whole game. Then they come the second game, they faking the runs inside but bouncing it out. So I mean, it's whatever you gotta roll with the flow and then eventually be able to change, because we could prep for Cincinnati the whole week and then run a whole different game plan. So that's when you just fall back on what you learned about your defense and what you do in your defense, and you just play your defense. So all those guys are different though. Every single team in our division run different stuff.
Hey, I was superstitious when I played, dog. I wore the same like shimo under my pads. I wore the same whatever every week. I listened to the same music going into the game, into the stadium. You superstitious? Or do you have like pregame rituals? Do you have like week prep rituals like that you don't break? Do cats still do that, or is every week like whatever?
Yeah, some cats still do that. My only superstition, I gotta have a turtleneck. Like I don't care if it's 100 degrees outside, I gotta have a turtleneck on.
See, I knew it was something. I don't care how hot. You don't do. You just in the mode like music.
Pregame, I barely warm up for pregame. I ain't gonna lie to you. I go out there, I do a few little things, and that's it. I go right back inside. I'm not a huge like music guy. Like I listen to music obviously and stuff, but I'm not like a huge like I gotta have music before the game.
Yeah, dog. I couldn't. I think coaches burn their cats out pregame, especially like high school, college. They think it's such a big like you're out there for an hour doing all this stuff. And I'm like, dog, we practice all week. I'm not going to have my guys out here for no hour doing every single drill we did in the practice.
Right.
And then my guys are burnt out. They're already sweated out. Now they're drinking a bunch of fluid. Now they're slow. I'm like, nah, let's be advanced. Let's chill in the locker room. Is that how it is nowadays? You guys go out there, basically just look at few personnels and look at the other guys, BS with them, chill, and just get kind of loose for the most part, and then go get ready to go. It's not totally
especially different. In the NFL, you do whatever you want. You got whatever warm up you got before the game, and then obviously once you put the pads on and stuff, you got your little small warm up. But college, I remember Miranda hated me for what I did in college. Like the warm up was so long. Like I used to just be like, I'll do a rep. Now I'll wait for everybody to finish. I'll be like, y'all good? Y'all ready? I walk up, back up all slow, and I get ready for the next one because it was like so much shit we had to do with a random. But
you be burnt out 100 degrees.
Bro, beginning of the game, first drive, I'm wore out. So I'm like,
that's what I'm trying to stay away from. I know Dave well. He's a California cat, man. I know this cat. He's been like that forever. He's doing that at Baylor too, probably 150 degrees. So it's crazy. Man, what's next for you, man? What's you got, like, you set goals every year for, like, in the off season? Do you set goals like, I want to hit this weight, I want to cut this 40 down, I want to cut this shuttle down? Like, do you do anything personally for as far as your getting ready for next season, or are you worried? Are you doing other goals for the season too? Like, are you setting goals like, I want to be first team, I want to be a Pro Bowl, I want to lead the team in tackles? Do you do any of that stuff, checking the boxes?
Yeah, so this off season, I just want to get to 228. That way I have a little leeway going into camp. I could put on a little bit of weight, and that'll keep me around like 232, 233, and still keep my speed. For as far as like stats wise, I always want to lead the team in tackles. I feel like that's one of the best stats is leading your team in tackles, not the bullshit tackles 20 yards down the field, like actual like in the box stops.
Bang, bang, yeah.
I need at least 5 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles every year. That's going to be my goal, 5 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles. You do that throughout your whole career, you automatically Hall of Fame. Then you got to have – that's Pro Bowl. That's Pro Bowl. That's all pro. That's all of that. That's everything that I want, everything that I need. So that's definitely –
You got your personal agenda. That's good, man. I hope you get the bag. I hope everything works out there. I hope T. Martin gets to coach Lamar. I think it's going to be a great fit. And, man, I appreciate you taking time, man, during the week. I know you got to go work out, go fish, go chill. Enjoy the offseason, man. You're young. You got a chance to make it happen. You're going to be great for a long time. I can't wait to keep watching you, man.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you having me, too.
No, always. Stay safe out here, man. Texas crazy right now.
Nah, bro, they jacking everybody.
Everywhere, though. Hey, if you see Megan, though, holler at her. Give me my number.
I got you.
All right, dog. Appreciate you.
All right, peace.
All right, later. Patrick Queen, Baltimore Ravens starting linebacker. Much love to him. Appreciate him. TikTok, come on over to YouTube Live. That was Patrick Queen, Baltimore Ravens starting inside linebacker. That's why you got to come over to YouTube to get the real, so you know who the hell I'm talking to. I'll see you guys on the other side. Come on over to YouTube. Peace. Patrick Queen, man, great kid, man. I love having him on the show. He's always done. He's the second time being on. He always is honest. Here's the thing about it. You know, we didn't even talk. We hadn't talked, but I think Real recognizes Real. I think he knew I wasn't going to put him in harm's way. I'm not going to ask him about Lamar like that. I threw a few questions in there just to get his thoughts, but I wasn't going to make the thing about Lamar. That's shady to me. See, that's janky to me. I think that is janky. When cats do what they do, they bring on certain cats to talk about another cat. To me, it's shady, and I just wouldn't do it. I'm not going on a show and you're going to ask me about someone else. That to me is just not cool. That's just what mainstream media does. I'm not that guy. I wanted Pat for who he is because he comes on the show frequently. That's his second time on the show. So, but I still asked him a few things, and you know, he's honest, dog. We talk a lot. Patrick Queen is honest. He don't hold punches, and he doesn't play the politic game. He doesn't play the political. I gotta say this. I gotta say that. He don't check in. A lot of these cats gotta check in if they want to come on a show. I give a lot of credit to Patrick Queen, man, for coming on like that. And at least I got to show some film of him and Roquan in the middle and got to watch it with him. I thought that was cool. That's why I wanted to have that film up and talk about why the naysayers who do TikTok videos don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're making videos to get clout off you, just like everyone on TikTok makes Last Chance U videos to get clout off me. That's what they do. So if you're just coming in the show, pound the like button, subscribe, become a member, go back and rewind it, watch the first 35 minutes of the show as Patrick Queen, Baltimore Ravens' very own linebacker, was on the show live. Much love to him and the Ravens starting linebacker. Contrary to Belief, brought to you by CannabisCBD.com. I got to get into it since we didn't do it. Be better in real life than on social media. Be better in real life than on social media. Trust is like glass. Once broken, it will never be the same. Contrary to Belief. We live in a time where people get mad when you don't let them use you. Contrary to Belief. We live in a time where people get mad when you don't let them use you. When you don't let them use you, they get mad at you. That is what social media has allowed. Social media has allowed comfort in an uncomfortable world. I just got to be honest. It has allowed comfort in an uncomfortable world. It has allowed people to say what they want to say. It allows people to do what they want to do. They can fake who they are. All these type of things, man. And to me, it's just, it's really sad. It's really sickening. And Mike Tyson said it best. You know, social media has allowed you from getting mud stomped and hit in the mouth when you say some crazy stuff on social media. That's just the truth of the matter. But it is what it is. That's just what it is. And listen, I got a guy here working on my house. I'm going to take a 4-minute break. Go get some coffee, let him out, and put the dogs up. And I'll be back in about 5 minutes. And make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, become a member. Tyoka Jackson and I had a great debate on the NASCAR. If NASCAR drivers are athletes, drop your thoughts in the chat. Do you think a NASCAR is an athlete, a driver? I think he isn't. He thinks he isn't. I think he is. Is it? I don't know. I'll be back in 5.
Let me ask you this. This is a totally different subject because I'm sitting there watching this NASCAR and I've had this conversation with multiple people. NASCAR drivers, athletes or no?
Yes, this is why. Now, I define an athlete by a cat that looks decent shooting a jumper, that has a natural golf swing, that can bowl a strike, that can throw a football, that can get on the bench and hit 225. Like, I look at a guy and define him as that. Like, I could do all those things. I know you.
All that.
Pat McAfee, you could tell Pat McAfee when he was a kicker in the NFL, but you could tell he could do all those things I just mentioned.
Agreed.
And people don't know. Some cats get out and be a stiff, horrible-looking golf club. These are they're good as an O lineman, but then are nothing else, right? Or whatever you want to. Anyone like that. I define athletes that way that can play anything, even like shoot some pool or anything, any sport they're good at. I think that's the great athlete. So this is why I say this. I've got to know some NASCAR drivers. From what they have told me and what I've heard, is they are literally, they do not recover in between races because of how bad their body gets beat up from race to race. They never recover fully. Kind of like football, we don't get the soreness out for 3-4 days.
Right.
They don't ever get it out between races.
Right.
They get banged up. It is a collision sport. So football and NASCAR were the only two, by definition, collision sports in the world. Hockey, basketball, and baseball considered contact sport. Right. So football no longer is collision, in my opinion. What's your take on it?
I'm with you on that. So my take is, if you're going to call race car drivers athletes, tell me the athletic movement they're performing while doing their sport.
Gas, clutch, brake, shift.
That's not an athletic movement. I mean, look, let's be honest. You've got 16-year-old kids on the street right now doing it. I mean, highly skilled, great hand-eye coordination, balls, fearlessness, toughness, have to be in some sort of physical shape to go through the entire NASCAR season, right? And circuit. All of that. What's the athletic movement of turning left? Again, if they're athletes, fighter pilots are the greatest athletes who ever lived because they're going, whatever they're going, one little mistake, one little turn of that yoke, and you're dead.
Hey, it's a good conversation, dog.
So listen, I respect what they do even more so by watching it and live, and IndyCar even more so, man, because they got to make one long loop on a pebble on that thing. They going flying, right? Athletes, though, come on, bro. We know what athletes are. What athletes are.
Then, is a baseball pitcher an athlete?
Absolutely. That's an athletic movement. No question. Hockey, baseball.
I don't know. We've got some fat, sloppy motherfuckers out there that can't even get off the mound.
No doubt. Jerome Bettis did not have the greatest body in the world, but he can tote that rock, right?
Leon Lett probably might have been the greatest athlete I've ever seen in my life.
You need to see Warren Sapp then.
Warren Sapp, Leon Lett. When my boy was on that Cowboy team and told me that Leon Lett used to beat Dion in the first 10 yards out of a gate on a 40, I was like, what? They're like, dog, I'm telling you, Leon Lett's a fucking freak.
Wow.
You played against him, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely. He was towards the end of his career, but yeah.
I mean, what he did on those teams, I could see it. We've seen some freaks of nature, obviously, but
without having great body.
I think you could. To me, throwing the ball hard or even controlling it, it's one movement similar to me, you got to move clutch, gas, brake, shift. That's 4 things, plus stay focused mentally and take the rigor of getting banged all day on 500 miles. I don't know, dog. That's really close, a pitcher and a NASCAR guy.
Who's doing the work in that NASCAR race, the driver or the freaking car?
Well, both if you pop that engine.
Stop that. Listen, the pitcher, it's his power, it's his technique, it's his movement that's making that ball go from 0 to 100. In NASCAR, it's the combustion engine underneath that hood that's making it go from 0 to 100.
Yes, it is. A golfer.
That's an athletic movement, bro. That ball sitting there at 0. That's an athletic movement, and you're walking throughout. There's a reason why they don't ride in a cart. That is an athletic movement. Are there some fat guys playing it? Absolutely. John Kruk played baseball. That was an athletic movement, swinging that bat. But John Kruk, we know, was not the most good-looking athlete we've ever seen. But at least it's all athletic movements. When it comes to race car driving and driving motorcycles and all of that, great sports, I respect them, but those are not athletes. Here's another one. If a female can compete at the highest level against men, they're not athletes. Okay. If I went on a WNBA court, I'm getting cooked, right? But if a WNBA player plays against an NBA player, she's going to get cooked because it's an athletic difference. So at the highest level, if women and men can compete on the same level, they're not athletes. If you are 40 or more years old and you can consistently compete, not just 1 year or 2 years, if you can consistently compete at 45 or higher at the highest level, they're not athletes.
So let me ask you this: you think right now, if me and you get together in a we're gonna have to do this, and we're gonna film this shit and make a show of it. You think me and you could get in a NASCAR and just let's say we do 100-mile race,
right?
You think we could do that shit
and compete against them?
No. Just a 100-mile race.
100-mile race. So, and let's say it's at Indy, that's 2 miles, right? So we doing 50 laps. Could I do it? Yeah, I could get around it. I ain't going 120 miles an hour. But I can get around it.
220.
220, right? I don't know.
I'm saying though, so you don't think you got to be an athlete to do that shit?
No, I think you have to be in great shape and you have to be greatly skilled and be great at your craft of balance. Your core is always getting engaged because you got to keep yourself upright. I get all of that, but they are not athletes. Athleticism, quickness, balance, ambidextrous, being able to move laterally with explosion off the ground. They don't have to do any of that. They just have to click these. Those are their shifters. They got to push their foot down, and they got to.
I don't know. What do you think about that? Are NASCAR car drivers athletes? That was a great debate. My boy Tyoka Jackson, great former Ram, great. Patrick Queen, appreciate him joining me this morning. We still got Jeff Nadu, Barstool's very own, is going to come on. We're going to talk a little bit, real talk banter. And we're going to talk about the proposal yesterday at opening day, Major League Baseball, where the security absolutely mollywopped him and did a Patrick Queen on the guy. Was that for TikTok? Was that for clicks? Let me be honest. Was it for clicks? He goes out there, tries to propose to his girl in the stands. A security guard mops him. Is that for clicks? Because we know dang well that you're not supposed to jump out there on that field and then get on a knee and act like you're. Did you get the answer, homie? Did you get the answer back from the proposal, or were your ears ringing? Man, it was clickbait, man. It's unbelievable. Opening day in baseball, just further proving that I dislike the sport very much so. I thought it was the worst 5 hours of my life watching a few games just so I could talk about a few games. Aaron Judd hit a home run, his first at bat for the Yankees. They beat the hated ones, which I did like and appreciate. The hated ones for my Dodgers are the Giants. If you're a Doyers, we say Doyers here in LA from the incredible Hispanic fan base. Doyers are how the Los Angeles Doyers are pronounced, and the Giants are the hated ones. We don't like the Giants here, and we love when the Yankees beat the Giants. By the way, those are all former New York teams. Giants, Yankees, Dodgers were Brooklyn. Ironically, it is what it is. Aaron Judd hit a home run. Great. I mean, maybe he's a good home run hitter. The Angels, Ohtani, he had a hell of a game, performed a no-run game, I think a two-hitter, and loses because the Angels can't get any support. The Angels are who they are. They can't score runs, and they are wasting the best player in baseball. When is Ohtani getting traded is my question. That is the next question, Hector. When is Ohtani getting traded? Because the Angels are absolutely wasting him. So let's get to the real show in the news. Trump indicted. What does this mean for America? And it's a felony on top of that. It's not even a misdemeanor. We got through the Hunter Bidens of the world, the Clintons, the Bushes. I mean, we've gotten through some shady operations as the POTUS of this country. Look, I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden guy. I'm an independent thinking guy. I don't really care who you vote for because I don't vote. Apparently, Jason Whitlock was trending on Twitter last night. He went on Tucker Carlson's show, I believe, who I think is another joke, by the way. He goes on Tucker Carlson's show and basically almost cries, Whitlock does, and basically says, I don't vote. I don't vote. I'm the same way as him. I don't vote either. But he said, I got to vote now. I'm not going to go that extreme yet. I'm not voting. I'm still not going to vote. I still don't think my vote really matters, especially after last election. I don't think it matters. I'm not going to get into conspiracies about voting rules and all that crap. I don't believe in all that. But what I do know is that the POTUS, the president of our country, is indeed a puppet, and he's a puppet master in the puppet show. And it doesn't matter who we have. There's a reason why we only have 70-year-old presidents. There's a reason why out of 350 million people in America, the only two guys we vote on are 80 years old. They're cadavers. They're sitting here ready to pass on. They're just incompetent. They can't walk up an airplane flight of stairs. They can't. Where is Bill Pullman or whatever his name is, the dude from Independence Day? Hey, Josh, where is the president from Independence Day? Why we don't have him? Where's Morgan Freeman in London Has Fallen? Why can't we get a guy to quarterback this thing like a legitimate cat? Like, I miss, where's that guy at? I want that guy. But it is what it is. Major League Baseball opening day starts off with a bang. Aaron Judge hits a home run on his first bat. It was all right. The Rockies closer, though, is who I got to get into. What's his name? Bard. I got this sent to me by a few people. Hector sent me a few other people sent it to me. Closer for the Rockies, Daniel Bard is starting the season on the injury list with anxiety, people. He's decided to be open and honest about what he's going through instead of trying to hide it. He had the yips earlier in his career and spent 7 years out of the majors. All right. Oh, my goodness. We have anxiety now. Anxiety now is the problem for sitting out. Now we have anxiety. Dog, I don't understand. Here's what needs to happen. I just got to be honest. I got to be honest. Got to be real. Years ago, one of my friends growing up named Kevin Caseyharn was a safety for the Cincinnati Bengals, played a long time. He was in the first XFL team in L.A., or for the Frisco team that played L.A. and Tommy Maddox. He went to a small school called Augustana, South Dakota, Division II school, when I was at Fort Hays State in Kansas. So he was a white safety, actually mixed with white and Thai. He was actually Thai and white. He lived with me and through high school. He was a good kid. We tried to help out and hip him to the culture. And he ended up getting culture, found a sister, got his first, he got himself a sister, got a little piece of ass, and he got turned out. All right. Anyway, he makes it to the NFL. He plays a long time. I asked Pac-Man Jones about him. He played a long time in the NFL, actually. Played for the Titans, I believe. He played for the Bengals for about, 8 years, 10 years. Well, anyway, I was talking to him, and we were talking about this in particular. He had a baby, all right? Cincinnati was getting ready to play in the playoffs, and he had a baby. And his girl was having a baby. And they told him, if you miss this game, which was the first round of playoffs, I think they were playing Tennessee or something like that. This is early 2000s. 2005, 2002, 3, 4, probably. If you miss this game, you probably are getting cut. Now, this is to see the birth of his child. All right, I want to make sure we're clear here. To see the birth of his child. All right. My dad died in 2005. I was at practice as an offensive coordinator that day. All right. And then you had Ty Lue, who I put on my Patreon. I put a video of him on my Patreon coming out saying, I had 7 deaths in my family this year. I could not make one funeral because we lost 6 games in a row. All right. So there's 3 ideologies that are all from the same tree. Myself, Ty Lue, all around the same age. And then I believe the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals at that time, it wasn't Marvin. Marvin was the DC. Let me see who it was. I want to say it was, maybe it was Marvin, because I think he got the job in 2003. I don't know who it was before that. I want to say it was someone else, though. I want to say it was Dick LeBeau. It was Dick LeBeau, and then Marvin took over. Dick LeBeau was the head coach at the time. So Dick LeBeau was the head coach, and he told Kevin, you're going to get cut if you miss this playoff game to see your daughter being born. All right? Can you imagine? I just want to throw a new poll question out there, Lucy. Can you imagine a coach or someone now telling a player now to don't miss the game or you're going to get cut? Do you know the backlash on social media when that kid posted? We miss games for deaths in this profession. And now we're missing games to claim anxiety. mental health, blah, blah, blah. Let me ask Brian Case. I know you mentioned you in the Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, come on over to the Discord. Slap Nation. Brian Case is talking about anxiety in the Discord. Let me ask Brian Case something, though, because, see, my mom's a doctor. I've dealt with a lot of this before. Is there a diagnosis, a prognosis, is there a real diagnosis for anxiety? Do you know if there is? Because I can combat what you say. I'm thinking you'll probably say there is. But I think I would argue that it's a fallacy. Anxiety is a fallacy. Not that it doesn't exist. I believe 1,000% anxiety exists. But I don't believe there is a true diagnosis. And they can sit here and check your blood, check your blood pressure, check your cholesterol level, check your heartbeat, and tell you you have anxiety. There is no blood disease to tell you there's anxiety. There is no heart murmur that beats off a beat to tell you that you have anxiety. All they can do is speculate that this is the symptoms of anxiety. See, I can argue that the symptoms are a million other things, but there is no clear-cut data that says this is anxiety. So I don't know if you remember the center for the Raiders who missed the Super Bowl when they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the year that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won with Gruden, when Rich Gannon was the quarterback for the Raiders. And what happened, if you guys don't remember? Sean Waffle probably remembers. Bipolar was invented. Bipolar disease was invented and basically came to light. The center missed the game because of bipolar. He had a bipolar episode in the hotel room, and then bipolar disease came about. Well, what was bipolar? No one really knew. Was it Tourette's? Because you're bipolar now. When we talk about, oh, you're bipolar, dog, JB. You're calm one day, and then the next day you're blah, blah, blah. That's bipolar. Is it? Or is it just that's my personality and emotion? What is the exact diagnosis of bipolar? How do you know? Is it checking blood like a disease? No, it's not. Is it checking your heart? No, it's not. It is, again, I argue, a money grab from the big pharma. And there's more pills now that Brian Case and all the Americans out here suffering from anxiety, quote unquote, or mental health. Guess what? Now you're taking a bunch of pills. Now you're taking a bunch of pills because in your mind, you think that's going to clear you from anxiety. When in theory, it's not. Go to sip a drink of yak and smoke a stick. Anxiety will go away real quick. I don't believe in it. I think anxiety exists, but I don't believe there's a diagnosis. I don't believe you can truly tell me how I have it, why I have it, and what it really is. I believe it's all a personality trait. I believe that's one of our characteristics. I believe we have to deal with personal demons and have to deal with them in the right way and be mentally tough, have tough skin. Mental fortitude is a real thing. Now, anxiety does live. My dog has anxiety, crazy anxiety. And dogs have anxiety like crazy, right? They pant. They don't like a room they're in. They pant. Guess what we do? Our heart may go up a few beats, and we get hot. We're sweating. Brian Case, tell me what your symptoms are. Like, what do you get? Like, I it's like, walking down an alley, you get chills, you get goosebumps. You know that you're not in the right place. That's all the human body. That's the body telling you something's up. It's giving you alarms. I believe the same thing with anxiety. I think you got to learn how to control it. But I've never known anxiety to cause a professional athlete to miss games and get paid. I never had in my life. If we go back to what I was talking about, as my cat Kevin was told he would be cut if he missed the birth of his daughter, if a guy in that era said to his coach, I have anxiety, I can't play today, coach, Do you know he would have been cut on the spot, A? B, you would have been blasted by your teammates for coming in with some weak excuse that anxiety is the reason you're not playing today. Do you know what the locker room would have did to him? They would have been like, anxiety, you bitches. Woo, woo, woo. He would have been called every name in the book. Nowadays, do you realize what would happen? Do you realize that these cats, in my opinion, are even softer than I first assumed and presumed they were? You know why? Because I believe these soft cats have now taken full advantage of cancel culture, of the PC world, of all the things that can happen on social media, and are using it to their advantage. I'm gonna say anxiety, because shoot, the GM can't say nothing, the coach can't say nothing, the owner can't say nothing. Because I'll go on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll go say these cats are hating on me, and they're gonna fire me, and they're gonna cut me because I got anxiety. And then everybody will come to his aid on social media, just like they did Damar Hamlin, and why Hamlin made $50 million on a GoFundMe, because everyone felt sorry. Everybody felt sorry for him. And no, my gosh, you can't say that, coach. You can't say that that's not real. You can't say that he doesn't have anxiety. You have to pay him, even though he's missing 20 games. I mean, I'm being real here. A lot of you can't handle the truth, and now you call it crying. See, that's what's crazy about today's generation. Y'all will call me the old man on the porch crying, yelling at the clouds and all that old stuff. But the truth just passes you by. You don't want to hear the truth. You can't handle that the truth really is that in my era, you had a baby during the playoffs, you were missing the birth of your baby. You can't even fathom it no more. You couldn't even fathom that right now. None of you in this chat, other than anyone that's under 40, probably couldn't even imagine that. The first thing out of your mouth, because you've been allowed and been trained by social media to accept, is, hell no, I'm going to be at my baby's birth. Guarantee you that. 20 years ago, you wouldn't have said that. 20 years ago, you would not have said that, because you would have been cut. You could have said it all you want, and you could have stood by it. Like Lamar with no agent. You could have stood by it. And I respect it. I respect that you stand alone. I love being alone. It takes a dude with big balls to stand alone. But you would have been cut. You wouldn't have got paid. See, now you have the freedoms to say that like you're big bad King John, because you think that you're the biggest thing on since sliced bread. No, you're not. You have protection from social media, because 20 years ago, dog, you wouldn't have said that. And if you did, you would have been cut. That's just the difference. That's just truth. That's the truth. It ain't me yelling at the clouds. That is the truth. We missed our babies being born. We played through broken bones. We didn't load manage. It is what it is. That's just the truth of the matter. I mean, it's just truth. That's the truth, dog. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. The college ump who has come forward, the one that kicked out the catcher the other day, he's come out and said he regrets judgment lapse. He regrets a judgment lapse. The judgment lapse is that you're trying to be you want to be the primary focus of the sport. That is what it is. That is what it is. You didn't have a judgment lapse. You had a failed appearance at the plate, ump. you realize that this isn't about you 3 days later when social media has dominated your world. Now you have a judgment lapse? Dog, it is what it is. You are who you are, not what you say you are. You didn't have no judgment lapse. Let's be honest. You didn't have no judgment lapse. You had a dang, all right. My guy just left the house. I just put a porch in. I put some like flagstone down on my porch entrance to walk into the house, and it looks sexy. I like it. Blends with the house, that natural rock. Had to do it. I'm always doing something to the house. Tomorrow, live on Patreon, we are going to have a poker party, and we're going to film it. So all you members, so if you're not a member, become one. We are going to have a live poker party on Patreon. These are some of the exclusive content that you won't get on here or anywhere else. We're going to be chilling, and we're going to be having a little poker party, and we're going to put it on Patreon, man. So make sure you're a member. It's located in my bio. It's on YouTube, the link. Go be a member of our Patreon. Sean Salisbury and I, Last Chance Q videos are on there. We're breaking down football. We're breaking down NFL film that no one else can. Plus, we're going to be doing our mock draft this month. On April 10th, we start back, and we're going to do 2 weeks solid of our mock draft, and we're going to dive into it. We're going to have a board. We're going to get into the draft and show and move around pieces, and we're going to do a lot of work, and we are going to compare our draft with what the hell is his name? Mel Kiper. We're going to make our draft, compare that to Mel Kiper, compare that to Todd McShay, and we're going to try to beat those two with our picks. That's what Sean and I are going to do. And we're going to break down all the draftable quarterbacks in totality. We're going to do all that on Patreon. So make sure you guys come on over there, become a member. It is the best $19.99 a month you can spend. It's like $1 a day, dog. Think about it that way. Trump indicted. Major League Baseball kicks off. Megan Thee Stallion wore the shit out of those jeans. I gotta cuss. When you see that, you gotta cuss, dog. And now Matt McChesney just texted me. He can't make it on. He's had some bad weather and some other things, and he was gonna try to make it, and I just got a text. He can't make it on. He'll be back Monday. Zach will be back Monday as well. Zach Smith will be back on Monday. We're going to talk some college football. I wish Zach was here right now because I got to get to this Jalen Carter news. Jalen Carter has basically been taken off the NFL draft boards, according to The Athletic. The Raiders have crossed him off the board. They will not take him 7th overall, according to what it really was. He was going to be the 7th pick by the Raiders if he lasted that long. The Bears talked about taking him early before they decided to trade the pick. So Jalen Carter's been taken off the board. And then you start to dig deep into it, and you're starting to see teams drop him. And then MCDC for the Lions came out, and he said in a recent interview that a teammate of Jalen Carter's gave him interesting information that nobody would have known. Campbell would not expand on what he was told, but just left it at it's interesting. Along with that, the Raiders are reportedly dropping him as well. It'll be interesting to see when the Georgia D-line comes off the board. When the Georgia D-lineman comes off the board. I don't know, man. It's interesting to say the least. Interesting to say the least about Jalen Carter. I don't know what to think. All I do know is that the NFL has they have FBI, they have They have FBI, former sheriffs, former CIA, former FBI. Every one of those guys are in the NFL security office. They are the ones that call me about certain players. They call me, ask about what happened to a Jermaine Johnson here, or a Calvin Jackson there, or a Raheem Boyd here. I get calls by NFL teams all the time and their security offices. They do background checks going back to elementary school, contrary to your belief. So having said that, they have dug up some stuff. They have got into people. You know what they do? They go to the homie and they throw a bag at him. Here you go. It's $50K. I need to know exactly what happened that night. You don't think that they're squilling like that dude Takashi 6ix9ine? You don't think they're going to squeal? Man, deuces. Oh, man, that dude was going 120, and he hit a left, and he was getting some head, and he made a right, and he hit that cat, and then he hopped to the other side of the car, and then she was driving now, and, unfortunately, we don't know what happened. Well, people died. You don't think there's snitches out there that'll take a bag to tell on their homies? Man, please. Man, please. I'm just telling you, that is real. That happens all the time. And I'm just telling you, I've witnessed it. Trust me. I've witnessed it. That is why there's a difference between homies, your partners, P-A-T-N-A, partner, and your acquaintances. There's acquaintances, there's homies, and there's partners. Which one of those three do you trust? I had to mute my ass, man. This dude is... You better chill out. The hell you doing in my house running around like that? Go lay down. Ash, man, is out here. Get out of my nuts. Go lay down. Ash is down here tripping. He running around the house. Man, I bet you he's probably done something. I'm about to... Oh, Peter. Please, Peter. Save me, Peter. Lucy, say a prayer for me with Peter. It's funny that people think I really am just back here. I got to ask Jeff Nadu about Hasbulla. If you guys know about Hasbulla, do you know Hasbulla, the little guy that's a grown man, but he's a real little guy? He suffers from a certain disease. Hasbulla, I guess his name is. I'm not really familiar, but he's a Barstool guy now. He's with Jeff. Jeff is always with them. I'm going to ask Jeff about it. He's taking heat for messing with his cat. I guess he has a video out there. He's grabbing his cat's ear and I guess hit the face of the cat or something. I don't know what happened. I haven't seen the whole video. But Hasbulla, I guess, I don't know who this kid is. I don't know where he really got big from, but apparently he's just like everywhere. I don't know who it is. I really don't. But I can't wait to dive into asking Jeff that. Yeah. Javante Moffitt, is that a current safety for the Falcons? Okay, just tweet it at me. Javante Moffitt, is he a starting safety for the Falcons? I got to get him on the show, see what's happening. Yeah. Well, that makes sense if he hangs out with Dana White, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, can't wait to who did Hector? Hasbulla? Hasbulla did an interview or Javante Moffitt? You guys know what Javante Moffitt is, the safety for the Falcons? Is he a starter? Hector, you know? I got to dive into this Malik Beasley deal. I got to dive into Malik Beasley. before I get into some coaches' top 10s. And then make sure you come on over to Patreon and get the uncensored version of Coach JB every day. Yesterday, we had an issue uploading. Hopefully, it's fixed. Patreon was down for uploads yesterday. I don't know why. We're going to try to fix it today. Malik Beasley is now pleading with the Laker fans to leave his wife and family alone. Back to the anxiety guy, load managing guy, back to the Westbrooks kicking fans out of the crowd, Kyrie, back to the soft-ass generation of people we deal with. The Los Angeles Lakers fan base can be great when you're playing well, but they can also turn into vicious fan base when they think a player is not doing well enough to help them out. Malik Beasley is finding that out now. The Lakers star is now pleading with Laker fans who have harassed his wife and family on social media. Beasley has been shooting just 37% from the field since being traded to the Lakers, which is the lowest mark of any season of his career. Maybe because you play with LeBron James, fan base. Here's the truth of the matter. Let's dive into this Malik Beasley thing. Let's just keep it 100. They're attacking you and your wife because of the whole Scottie Pippen incident, dog. They don't care about your 37% percentage from the field. LeBron's shooting less than that. Come on. LeBron's shooting less than that. God. So let's just keep it real. They don't care about your shooting percentage, Malik Beasley. They're worried about your drama with Scottie Pippen. Let's just be real. What do you do? The question is, what do you do if a fan says something about your wife and kid? Dog, see, I'm from a different generation, dog. That is normalcy to me. I appreciate it. I like it. I like it. I want you to talk about my wife and kid. That means I'm doing something right. And guess what? I go home to my wife and kid. You go home to your mom's basement, dog, working at Walmart. Why do we care? And you're asking me what I would say to a fan who's on Twitter talking about my wife and kid. Why do you take Twitter so seriously? Unless Twitter folks start to come out of the womb and the woodwork and show up at your door, why are you worried about it? Because I invite Twitter haters to come on over to the house. I leave my address all the time. Coach, you're dumb. I got my boy that's the head of security. He's running security for Ice Cube and all this stuff. He's like, man, be careful with your license plate and videos. Be careful with your address and videos. I get it, but I don't really care. I'll be honest. I mean, you're going to be, if you really want smoke from me, you're not going to come get it. You're going to do a cowardly drive-by or something like that. You're not coming up to the door. Let's just keep it 100. I give my address out all the time to these cats. And you know what? I've been doing it for 5, 6, 7 years since I've been on social media, 5 years or whatever. I just got social media when I was at Indy. I never had social media, by the way. Never had social media before I got to Indy. Imagine that. Imagine that. I just start thinking about it right now, and I'm like, damn, I just got social media, to be honest. To be honest, I just got social media. I never really did social media. But anyway, I've been however long I've had it, 5 years or whatever, I've probably given my address out to more BMKs than anyone. And you know how many people have showed up? You know how many people have shown up? 0. Not one. Not one person has shown up. Why? That's what I'm saying. You're worried about a cat on Twitter talking about your wife and kid? Please come get the smoke. Coach Kevin, I'm about to smoke something tomorrow. I'm going to smoke something tomorrow. I do have posters, 7 above. I do have posters. I have posters like this one behind me. I have a poster of my liquor, of me on a bottle. I do have some posters I could sign for you. Venmo me at Coach JB12. Those posters signed are $50. They're exclusive posters. Venmo me at Coach JB12. Here's the thing. I send those personally. I don't send them through the website. You can buy the book on the website, though, and I'll send that. I want to dive into, before Jeff Nadu jumps on, I want to dive into the Major League Baseball expectations real quick. Let me see. People keep retweeting my my Megan Thee Stallion tweet when I said she wearing them. I'll tell you that. She was wearing them white jeans. She knew what she was doing with them white jeans. Here's what I gotta say. Major League Baseball. I want to break down the divisions. I got about 9 minutes before Jeff joins me. Hector, I want to get your take. I want to get some guys' takes in here that know baseball. Let me see. I want to dive into the baseball divisions, and I want to get an over or under take from Hector, who knows baseball. He bets baseball. I'm going to probably start doing a betting site on Patreon as well. We're going to start doing some betting on Patreon. My boy Charles Arbuckle, man, great dude. We're going to start doing some betting on Patreon as well. But I got to dive into this real quick. I want to dive into hey, Eric with the wrench. The Milwaukee, what is their names? What's the names of them? Bucks? Oh, no. Brewers? See, nobody cares, Eric with the wrench. Nobody cares about the Milwaukee Baseball Club. You guys call them clubs. I love to hear our ball club. All right, here we go. Hector, help me out. Help me out, Hector. Let's start in the American League East. Over or under? Baltimore Orioles, 70 wins. Over or under? By the way, I'm smoking something tomorrow, Coach Kevin. I'm smoking something tomorrow, and I don't know what it is for the poker party. I probably pulled pork, maybe some ribs, maybe a few whole chickens. I don't know. All right, Hector. Over 70 wins, the Baltimore Orioles? Really? All right. We're going to mark this down. I'm making note of this right here on my notes here. We're going to make sure Baltimore 70 wins over. Over 70. All right. Now, remember, this is in a division with Boston, Yankees, Tampa, and Toronto. Now, I gotta ask you, Boston, 80 wins, over or under? Boston, 80 wins, over or under? The Yankees, 90 wins, over or under? And the reason I'm going to go fast on this American League East is because I want to know how Baltimore Orioles get over 70 wins. If Boston gets 80, see, Hector says under. If the Yankees get 90 as predicted, Tampa's supposed to get 90 wins. Over or under for Tampa Bay to get 90 wins. And then Toronto's supposed to be good. Toronto, over or under 90 wins? I want to know. So the Yankees are over. Boston is over. Some of you say Boston's under. How is Tampa and Toronto going to also get 90 wins? And then how are the Baltimore Orioles going to get over 70 wins? I'm curious. I want to see how that works out. I don't know, dog. I don't know if that's going to work out too well. But I'm curious. I am curious to see how that works for you guys. Yankees and Jays over. That division is going to absolutely kill itself. So I don't know. I'm curious. Some people think the Orioles under 70. I'm going to go with under 70 for Baltimore, and I think Boston will be roughly around 80. And I think the Yankees, Tampa, and Toronto will be roughly around 90 wins. That's going to be hellified division. Let's get into American League Central. The Chicago White Sox, who beat the Houston Rockets, the Houston Astros last night, and their first loss in 10 years on opening day for Houston. First loss in 10 years on opening day for the Houston Astros. Chicago White Sox get a big win. The Chicago White Sox win 80 or more games. Over or under 80 wins. The Chicago White Sox get 80 wins, over or under. I don't know anything about the White Sox. I'm not sure about the White Sox. I don't know if the White Sox are that team or not. But let me ask you about Cleveland, whatever their name. The Guardians, is that their name now? I don't even know the name, dog. That's how bad this is. I don't even know the name. Does the Cleveland Guardians get 85 wins or more or less? 85 wins, over or under for Cleveland. Detroit, they must be pretty bad. 70 wins, over or under. How about my Kansas City Royal fans? Over or under 70 wins. And then the Minnesota Twins, do they get over or under 80 wins? That looks like that American League Central is kind of middle of the pack type of division. I don't know if any of those teams can compete with that American League East or the American League West. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. That division is very overrated in my opinion as well, Hector. I just don't know if there's a lot of firepower in that division. Chicago White Sox, Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City, and Minnesota. Seems like mediocrity is a new excellent division. American League West. I think the Angels are always going to angel. Let's start with Texas. Are they 80 wins, over or under? Does the Texas Rangers get 80 wins, over or under? That division is a little better than the Central. I still don't know if it's that good. I don't know if Oakland gets 60 wins. I don't know. Over or under, does Oakland A's get 60 wins? They got their first one last night against the Angels. Do the Angels get 80 wins, over or under? Can the Angels with Ohtani get over 80 wins? I think the Angels struggle on offense with the bats. I think the Angels are under 80 wins. I think Oakland under 60 wins. I think Seattle will be 85 wins over. I think they'll win over 85 games. I think Seattle's on the rise. And the Texas Rangers, I think, will win 80. I think the Texas Rangers will win 80. But Houston, here's the key. Hector, does Houston get 100 wins, over or under? Do they get over or under 100 wins? Houston. That's the question. Yeah, I like Seattle over 85 wins. I like Seattle over 85 wins. Houston, 100 wins. I think they'll get it again. I think they'll get 100 wins again. Emilio says under. Let's move on to the National League East. Atlanta Braves, 95 wins. Over or under, Hector? Over or under 95 wins? Hector, I should have had you call in. Over or under 95 wins in Atlanta? That's a lot. Let me ask you this. National League East, Hector, I think they're on the rise. The Mets, Phillies, Washington's back down, even though they had a run a few years ago. Did the Washington, do they get 60 wins, over or under 60? That seems like they're the doormat in that league now. Do the Phillies get 90 wins or more or less? Are they over under 90? And are the Mets 95 wins, over under? And then Miami comes in there. Are they on the rise? Can they get 75 wins in Miami? I don't know. I don't know. The Nats under 60 wins. Does Philly get 90? So now you got the Mets at 95 wins projected. Phillies at 90 projected. The Braves at 95 projected. And Miami at 75 wins projected. Do they get over or under those projections? That National League East is also pretty competitive, minus the Washington Nationals. I think that league is pretty pretty solid. Now it seems like both Central leagues, American and the National, are bad. National League Central, Cubs, do they get 75 wins, over or under? Do the Cubs get 75 wins? I think 75 wins for the Cubs will be a pretty good year. In that division, though, the Cardinals are the cream of the crop. Do they get 90 wins, over or under, in St. Louis? And Milwaukee, they're on the rise. Can they get 85 wins in Milwaukee? I got to ask my main man, Jeff Nadu, the rest of these, because I'm going to get into the National League West and my Doyers. Jeff Nadu, welcome in. What up, dog? I appreciate you.
What's up, Coach? How you doing? You all right?
Chilling. What's up with my boy Hasbulla, man? Does he hate cats?
No, he don't hate cats. Listen, man.
I discipline my dog, and they call PETA on me.
Listen, sometimes you gotta cats disobey, and you have to discipline them. Listen, the cat wasn't fasting during Ramadan, and he disobeyed the cat. You know, you can't do that to him during Ramadan. Again, that's not right. Alhamdulillah, Hasbullah.
Hey, let me ask you: is he part of Barstool?
No, he's just like someone we interviewed. Caleb interviewed him one time.
So how did he become so big? Like, what is he? Who is he?
Hasbulla is a kid that is from Dagestan, which is in Russia, and he has a growth disorder where he's like 20 years old, but he looks like a kid, like a toddler. And he just started doing videos, and he did a couple of videos with like Habib and certain UFC fighters, and then before you know it, he was just super famous. He was in memes, and he didn't interview with anyone for a long time. And then we interviewed him, and then certain other people started interviewing him, and now he's he got connected with Dana White, and he's just super, super famous now.
Damn, that's crazy. I'm doing this over or under baseball wins. I want to start diving into some betting stuff, man. I got to get you, my main man Hector, that comes in the show a lot. He lives out in Jersey, New York too, in your area. He does some MGM stuff. I want to get tied into some of this stuff, but I'm doing an over or under thing. I want to go through this real quick. I was going through it with the chat before we get into some barbershop banter. The American League East probably is the cream of the crop in the American League, obviously. I asked everybody, does Baltimore get 70 wins, over or under, in a league with Toronto, Tampa, Boston, and New York that all are projected to have over 90 wins minus Boston? Do you think Baltimore can get 70 wins?
I think they can. I mean, listen, I think lineup-wise, they're pretty interesting. I bet on them yesterday. I really like the spot for them, and they got some young kids. The kid Adley Rutschman's really good. That you're right, though. That is such a tough division. Even Toronto, obviously you mentioned. I mean, the Red Sox aren't what they used to be, but everyone else in that division is very good. 70 wins isn't. I mean, essentially you're asking them to be, slightly better or slightly worse than average. I think they can get to 70.
So everybody in that division you're saying is going to get over 70 wins. Is that even possible? Don't they play each other? So you got. Because let me ask you this. Toronto, Tampa, and the Yankees are all projected, that's from Vegas, to have 90 wins or more. I don't think they all three can get 90 wins.
Well, I think Toronto is going to have a problem getting the 90 wins. I don't know if their pitching is good enough. I mean, they have obviously up top with their ace, but I mean, they gave a lot of. I mean, they're going to give up a lot of runs all year. They struggle from a starting pitching standpoint. I don't know if they get the 90 wins.
Really?
Outside of Manoah, I don't love their rotation.
All right, let me transition to the American League Central. They must be the dog shit league. Chicago White Sox beat Houston last night. Houston's first opening day loss in 10 years. Are they an 80-win ball club? White Sox?
I mean, I would hope they are. I mean, they seem like a group that should contend to go to the playoffs and have a good year, but you're right. I mean, that's not a good division, though. And, outside the Twins, I don't really like anybody in that division. They should get to 80 wins, I would hope. They have
per Vegas line, Cleveland is projected to have the most wins in that division at 85 over Minnesota with 80. Is that even close to being right?
See, I don't know if Cleveland can hit. I mean, you saw, I mean, I know it's only one game, but last night, I mean, they get shut out against Seattle. Look, I know Seattle's really good, but you're really just going with the best lineup in that division to me. Look, I think Cleveland's solid. They have great pitching, but I think it's the White Sox year. You know, they've kind of, you know, grabbed a couple of young kids, and they have a great rotation with
Really?
Cease and Clevinger. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's head out west. Does Houston get 100 wins or less?
Over. I love Houston. I bet on them every year. You know, I always have something on them because I just love them as a group. They came up short last year, but I think when the rubber meets the road, I think they're better than a team like the Yankees. They have, I think, that top level bullpen. They have a great rotation and a good lineup. They added Jose Abreu. They need to get Altuve healthy, and he'll be fine. But all in all, I think, yeah. I mean, I love Yordan Alvarez. I love the Astros every year.
All right, and who's next in that? Seattle going to compete with them?
Yeah, listen, I also played Seattle. I think they're a team that you have to really like. You know, their lineup, obviously, I think coming into last year, I wondered how good it was. But, you know, obviously Rodriguez came out of nowhere. I mean, not out of nowhere if you follow the farm system. But another group, great rotation, Luis Castillo. Yeah, I think it's them and Seattle. That's it.
Angels are going to Angel. They're
the same team.
Ohtani last night. I mean, he pitched his ass off. They end up losing to Oakland, who I don't even know if they'll get 60 wins.
Yeah, Oakland's bad. The Angels are – I always have to wonder. I mean, you have the two best players in the major leagues, arguably, right? I mean, Ohtani and Trout, and you –
wasting them.
Yeah. I mean, at some point I think you have to look at that, but who knows how they don't at least make the playoffs is fascinating.
When is somebody getting traded out of there? I'm curious.
I think it's going to be Trout.
I don't believe Ohtani looked as good as he usually does. I think the World Baseball Classic probably burned him a little bit. He's probably going to have to come back, but in a few starts, he'll be great again. I don't even think he had his best stuff, and he pitched he had a but he had no runs allowed and 2 or 3 hits. I'm like, this guy's not even his best, and he was dominant last night, and then they choke it off late innings, and Oakland wins.
You know where Mike Trout's going to go someday? He's going to come home, baby, Philly, and play for the Phillies.
You a Philly guy, huh?
He's from this area too. So
I got to get to that division. That division's pretty stacked too. You got the Mets, who are projected at 95 wins. Big salary, right? Big roster. A lot of money spent. They're trying to be relevant in New York with the pinstripe Yankees. Are the Mets the cream of that division, or are the Braves in the mix? Or are the Phillies that guy? Phillies are projected at 90. Mets and Braves both at 95. Miami and Washington are who they are.
You talked before about the AL East and how good that division is. I'll tell you right now, I mean, this is a great division too. Even the Marlins can be tough, man. They got a great pitching rotation. Yeah, I think the Braves are obviously a contender, but, you know, the Mets, look, they got to get Verlander healthy. He went on the DL to start the season. Edwin Diaz, he's out for a long time due to that injury he got in the World Baseball Classic. Look, I like the Phillies. I'm not just saying that. I think adding Taijuan Walker, Nola, they got a better bullpen. The lineup with Trey Turner is really good. I lean Mets, though. I think they're ultimately the best team in this division, but I don't know. It seems like they might be jaded with injuries. They're already getting them. They lose DeGrom, so.
That's a tough division. The National League Central, similar to the American League Central, probably the worst in that division. Cardinals, cream of the crop, 90 wins plus. I know they got hitting, I think. I don't know about their pitching in St. Louis this year, but they're projected at 90 wins. Milwaukee, 85. Everyone else is kind of 75, 70, 60 win. Pirates, your Pittsburgh Pirates, they're not yours, but your area, Pittsburgh, are they going to be better than they've been? They've been pretty bad. They're kind of like the Oakland A's East.
I think they'll be better. I think Cincy will be better. They have some good young players. here's what I'll tell you. And again, I don't want to base it off one game, but you look at the Cardinals yesterday. I think that's a prime example of what they're going to be. They're going to score runs, but they can't hold a lead. I mean, they blew a lead 2 or 3 different times yesterday. I always go to the Brewers. I think Corbin Burns is awesome. I like their rotation a lot. Okay bullpen, and look, a solid lineup. Cubs, I think, will struggle. I think the Reds struggle. The Pirates struggle. I think between the Cardinals and the Brewers, Cardinals got to figure out the pitching. They just do.
All right, I got to get to my Doyers out here in the Hispanic world. The Los Angeles Doyers are pronounced that way. They're not the Dodgers. The white people say Dodgers. The Hispanics say Doyers. I love to see the Yankees beat up on our hated ones, the Giants, last night. The Giants are our Dodgers' hated ones. I mean, not only when I say hate, I mean you will die in the parking lot in Chavez Ravine in LA over a Giant Dodger game. It happens every year. The Dodgers, 100 wins, over, under.
I'm going to go slightly under. I think it's like 98 or something. Yeah. Listen, that's always a tough division. The Giants are always going to have good pitching, and the Padres are obviously really good. Look, I'm going with the Padres. I picked them to win the World Series. I'm going to pick them here. Look, I think that rotation's incredibly good. You look at Bogarts and just all the talent they have there now in that lineup. You had some kind of veterans as well. We saw them lose to the Phillies last year, just when it mattered most. But no, I think 100's too much for the Dodgers. I'll go slightly under, because I don't think you're going to get the same. Like, for instance, Gonsolin last year. Gonsolin pitched like abnormally well. And I'm not saying he can't do that again, but it came out of nowhere. Regression will hit him at some point. To think you're going to continue to get the same stuff out of some of those guys that you did last year, I don't think it's going to happen. I like the Padres personally. I love them. I have them to win the World Series.
Yeah, usually the Dodgers dominated the Padres all season long. I think they were 20-4 against them or something, and then they lose in the playoffs. I think Major League Baseball needs to restructure their alignment. Let me ask you something. I talked about this when it happened. Houston got to play, I don't know who they started off with last year in the first round, but the Dodgers having to play the Padres after they were the number 1 seed and had a bye. Why would you play a rival? Like, why can't they restructure where those teams play different? Like, San Diego should have played someone else round 1 and not had to play the Dodgers, who they play 24 times during the season, and it's a bus ride away. Like,
here's what I'll say to you. Just simply, beat them. Who cares?
No, I get it, but
I play you got to play.
I'm with you. I'm the same way. There's no excuses. You got to beat them. I totally get it. I'm just asking why everyone else can talk about every other sport's restructuring of NFL adds a team to the playoffs. The baseball wants to do now the home team in the World Series is the all-star winner. Like, everyone has done something. Why aren't we talking about restructuring the playoffs in baseball? Like, that's what I want to know. We always talk about it in all these other sports, and we talk about beating them and all this, but dog, you know damn well in football, it's hard to beat a team 3 times like Tampa and the Saints know all too well. Think about beating a team for the 25th time.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think it's a hard thing to, and it doesn't happen much. It's just how it crumbled that year. I hear you. I mean, I think, I think baseball, they have looked at, and they added a team recently the last couple of years. I get you. Look, I'll say this. You look at the Padres, for instance, last year. I mean, they didn't have Tatis. He was suspended. You throw him back in the mix. Someone's mentioned in the chat about no closer for the Dodgers. I mean, that's concerning. That's going to be a great battle. And look, that's a tough division, I said. I mean, you got the Giants. You also have to go to Colorado, which is a weird, park with the kind of the
Arizona will beat you on it.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah. That's a touchy division. It's tough. It's a lot of landmines, if you will.
No, it is. I got to ask you, man, we're in this generation of soft cats. We got a guy that's not going to play to start the season for the Rockies, Daniel Bard. he's starting the season on the injured list with an anxiety. All right. Now, I got to be honest. To me, that's not an injury. To me, that's a mental fortitude issue. We're now just taking off work for anything in this professional business, man. I just had Patrick Queen on, starting linebacker for the Ravens. I asked him a little bit about Lamar, but not too much. I asked him about the biggest challenge for professional athletes today. And he's like social media, the hate, the slander, the opinions that people make that put words into our mouth and say they're facts when they're not. We have to deal with that because of the Freedom of Speech Act that happens on social media that I deal with every day, as you deal with every day. Where are you at with that? Like, do you think that this dude is warranted? And do you think it's okay to just sit out like the Kawhi Leonards and all the NBA players do? And now we're claiming these things that you really can't prove, Jeff. This is my point. I really can't prove if you have anxiety. There is no prognosis, diagnosis. There's no blood check for a disease. There's no heart murmur. My beat's off. I have anxiety. No, it's not. It's a pharmaceutical money grab to say, here, take these pills, calm down. How about 20 years ago, you would have been fired or cut if you would have said anxiety.
Well, but I think that's what leads, these little things that lead to these bigger things and these bigger problems that we have. And we've kind of, looked at these little things and we've let them happen for years on years. And then that develops into something much bigger. And now we have a culture of people who feel like when the going gets too tough, and we saw it with coronavirus, right? I don't feel good. So I'm just not, and then it turns into, well, I'm just not going to go to work. I'm just going to work from home. And then it's, I'm not even going to work. I'm just going to quit my job and go into my own employment, even though I don't really have anything. And then 5 years down the road, they don't have any money. And then it's like, well, what happened? Well, you quit your work. Like it all leads to one thing. And look, I'm not going to say I don't believe in this stuff, but to me, I look at the regular person. In the end, the regular guy always gets screwed, right? Because as an athlete, this individual is going to be awarded the ability to do what he has to do to get better. If that's a regular person, like anybody in this chat or me or whoever, we're going to be asked, where are you? Why aren't you here? We still got to do what we got to do and live our life. We're not awarded these types of things. I don't get it. I mean, like you said, 20, 30 years ago, that's when I would have liked to have grown up. And I essentially did grow up in that time, but I wish it would have stayed like that because, it's just a soft world out there, man. Grow up, get with it, man. We all have the yips sometimes. We all don't want to do things and we're all put in precarious situations we don't want to be in. But we know what? We go up, we pull our bootstraps up and we do what we have to do. I would never, ever contact a job I have and say, hey, I can't come in. I'm angry. I have angry. Like, get over it, man. Move on.
It's not like I can see like I had a stroke. Like I'm over here like I can't talk. I get it. That's when mental health chooses you. Too often or not, Jeff, we see it every day on social media. We now choose mental health. That's not how this works. It chooses us, Jeff. Like, Jeff, if you wake up tomorrow and don't know your name, it chose you, dog. Sure. You didn't wake up tomorrow and say, you know what? Today I think I'm going to choose mental health. I'm not going to go to work because I got anxiety. No, it doesn't work that way. If you really have something, dog, it will find you.
And also the whole social media thing, as someone who, I don't know if there's a person on the planet that gets it worse than me on a regular basis. I've had the worst things said about me possible. I'm talking about just really depraved things, right?
Wait, can we battle that? Can we have a test run?
You probably have as well. I mean,
we got to have a test. We got to show some of ours and just have a beat up.
Coach, I've been called I'm not even going to say what I've been called. Bad things, I know it's tough, but you got to just either don't read it or just, again, it's hard to explain. Just don't read it and don't let it get to you. But I don't know. Social media is the problem. And I agree with that. But I saw, for instance, we're putting people's feelings out there that we don't need. Like, for instance, that school shooter in Nashville. Did you see that post by TMZ yesterday? We're supposed to feel sorry for that school shooter because her friend died in a car accident a couple months ago. And that's why she went in and killed little children. What the hell are we doing here?
How about POTUS or the secretary or whoever the what's her name that came out yesterday and basically said that the made up humans in the world, who I call transgender, made up humans, are under attack? What?
No, I think just one individual that happened to be that type of person did something extremely, sickening and brutal. I mean, no one's under attack.
It's unbelievable how we're gonna play the victim after you killed innocent children.
But that's how it goes. I mean, it's always the most extreme situations, right? It's listen, we all have our opinions. Look, what you do in your own home is up to you. However, I'm not going to feel. Why are we supposed to feel sorry for these people? Like this person that did this.
I don't know.
And what are we doing here?
I don't know. I feel bad for our frontline people on the front line. If we ever go to war, man, I think we're just going to get put dildos rammed up. We're going to get
to wonder. We have a lot of people. I mean, look, I think the military is still very strong, but yeah, we'll see.
Hey,
we might find out someday.
Somebody in the chat was like, do strokes correlate with mental health? Well, yes, they do. You know why? Because the number one cause for stroke is what? Stress. And when you allow stress to affect your mental psyche, that is when you can stroke out. Over time, you stress out, you will stroke out, just so you're clear. So, yeah, I do believe it does affect it. I do believe it has a correlation. That's just my opinion.
By the way, real quick, with the whole making excuses, do you ever wonder, okay, why do we when something bad like that happens, why do we constantly plaster this person's photo and picture of it? Like, why do we even mention their name? I don't think people realize that's what they want most to happen. A lot of these lunatics, they just want the recognition for once. Nobody knows who the hell they are, so they want to go out on top just one time. They want people to know who they are. They want to fly above all the other birds just one time. Why don't we bring their name up? Why don't we even put their stuff out there? Like, why do we – I don't get it. Like, why are we doing that?
You know what? Here's another thing, though, that I tell people all the time. I tell mothers that are single mothers. I tell them all the time, Jeff, stop putting your children on social media.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, what happens is these cats, these weirdo pedophile creeps are now attacking other areas. They're not going after Instagram no more. They're not going after Twitter. They're going to like weird places like Pinterest and LinkedIn, and they're doing these dark web like cyber attacks on you, getting your kid lured out of the light. And they're getting your kids on social media in a way that you didn't even know. It's not on mainstream Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And it's because you're posting your children on your social media and these weirdos are taking them. And man, Jeff, you do a lot of crime talk. You do a lot of cartel stuff. Trafficking and the cartel work hand in hand. And that is a thing that they're getting right now off social media. They're getting your kids and they're trafficking them with the cartel. And it's a number one thing. My buddy works in this business and he's like, dude, it is tied together like no other.
I would never, I don't have any kids, but I don't understand the obsession with posting every little thing your kid does, putting them out there. I mean, there's some weird and awful people in this world. And I don't get it. And shout out to those people. And I watch them on YouTube occasionally. Shout out to the people that try to police these people, man. No one wants to do nothing about them in their communities. They're setting them up. They're trying to embarrass them. Good for them people. You see them people on YouTube all the time. There's some weird, depraved people out there, man. I don't get it. I don't know why people do it.
Nah, I agree. Let me ask you this: college football. I know you go on. I know you talk to Brandon Walker and them guys sometimes.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter's coming off the board apparently with the Raiders at number 7. Anything earlier than that has even been discussed. He could have been number 1 in some eyes if the Bears didn't trade number 1 away and kept Justin Fields. Do you see this guy slipping like like our guy did a couple years back when he was smoking weed in the
Laramie Tunsil, yeah.
Tunsil. Tunsil, everyone forgive and forget. He's now just signed a big bag in Houston. Do you think that Jalen Carter's slipping and can this whole thing hurt him? Because I told people, Jeff, the NFL has securities that are former FBI, former CIA. They're going to dig in. And Jeff, you know as well as I do, snitches exist in this world. And if I went over and even in the crime boss era, I gave you 50 grand. Hey, man, I need to know what happened in that car that day. And it's your homeboy. He ain't your homeboy no more. He just got not generational wealth, but he just got a big bag to snitch on your ass.
Well, I mean, you look at that Alabama situation. You don't think the police said to Brandon Miller, listen, man, we have the opportunity to ruin your life. We could charge you with something here because it is illegal to possess a weapon on Alabama's campus. As far as I know, where that was on Alabama's campus. You don't think they went to them and said, listen, man, tell us what happened here. All of it. You don't think he told? Come on, of course he did. That's how he got out of it. In the case of Jalen Carter, yeah, I think anything that's on the radar has to be brought up, and it's going to have a fine-tooth comb put on it. Truth is, there's an active case against Mr. Carter, as far as I know. He was released on bond, and that's where we sit. So, yeah, I think the old adage is, yeah, he's a great player, but there's a lot of players in this draft that don't have any character issues, and we can go with them instead. Yeah, I think he's definitely going to drop. This is why you have to be very well behaved when you're in college, because it's like becoming some sort of political officer or something. They're going to look at everything. As you said, they have very strong investigators that are going to look into all this stuff. Now, I'm sure, as you said, they're doing the due diligence and saying, okay, what's going to go on down the road with this? But yeah, it's definitely something, and I think teams are starting to see that. They don't want it.
I've had 22 calls from 21 different NFL teams, twice by one team, about a kid of mine, Tank Dell. Plays for Houston. He could be an early
great player. Yeah.
He could be a later first round, second, third round guy. He can go anywhere in there as a receiver. He's an explosive kid. His 40 time didn't marry up with what he runs. I don't know what that was. It seemed fake to me on social media. I was like, that ain't Tank Dell. I know what he is. I recruited the kid. They asked me about him before elementary school.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know him before elementary school. I recruited him out of high school. I did my due diligence when I recruited him to make sure the character matched up with what my philosophy is and what I want on my campus. And it did. And if you know anything about me, you know I'm not bringing that into my place. And they're like, no, we know, coach. That's why we call you and all this. And so they dig deep. They dig deep with Jermaine Johnson, who's with the Jets. They dig deep with every one of my kids that have been drafted over the years. They ask me all kind of personal questions, who they kick it with off campus, who they're around. This is things they ask me all the time. So 22 NFL teams are interested in Tank Dell, or everyone's going to be interested, but 22 teams have called me about him, and their security are all former FBI, CIA, sheriffs, guys that have been drugged through the mud, who know how to turn over rocks and dig deep into this. They're not just calling me. I guarantee you they will take a bag to one of their partners and find out, hey, dog, I need to know what happened to this cat in 9th grade. You were with them.
And also, remember, one of the reasons that we have to also think about this stuff, too, is you look at Jalen Carter, for instance. It might be possible. Maybe nothing's pursued against him. We don't know what will ultimately happen. But they don't want to be put in a situation where they draft an individual like this, and then, all due respect, I mean, this guy is out at 2:45 a.m. with other people that are drinking and drunk, and they're street racing in the middle of the night. Let me ask you a question. Henry Ruggs. We don't want another situation like that, do we? We need to prepare ourselves. I'm not saying this dude, maybe he just made a bad mistake one time, but surrounding yourself with these types of people, you should be at home at that time, not out doing whatever it is you do. So, they want to limit that stuff in the future. And some of the stuff is the ways that some folks can go down that road.
Here's what people don't get, Jeff. You're in the NFL. You have unlimited resources. NFL has car service.
Yeah.
Send the car to him. Make sure that kid is picked up. He's not driving drunk 150 miles an hour. But guess what? The narrative is let's be safe. Let's push either Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ. Let's put it in our end zones and all this old stuff. But yet we have everything proved against what you say. You don't protect the players. DraftKings is your number one sponsor, yet you suspend a guy for betting for $1,500. You suspend him for a year, but yet you have players on your team, in your league, hitting females on camera, a closed fist that didn't miss a game. Mm-hmm. Like, what is our priority? And it just blows my mind that we can sit up here and talk about player safety and this and that and all this, but you don't give a car to a kid to pick him up in Vegas at 3 a.m. He killed a dog and a female. Like, I'm more pissed about the dog. So I'm just like, dog, this is what it is now. This is what we do. And I'm like, I don't understand why you can't get that done if you're in the NFL. I mean, we track these dudes at an all-time rate, and now you're telling me that we're allowing these dudes to do what they do. But again, it goes to, player empowerment. It goes to, this is how I'm going to live my life and blah, blah, blah. And you can't tell them nothing anymore. These kids know everything, Jeff. They don't want to be told anything. And we're seeing it at all-time high. Kamara, he may miss next year, Jeff. Like, these are the situations that we have every day. Like, Kamara beat up somebody. Now he's being sued. Now the NFL may jump in. How many of those scenarios do we have? Tyreek Hill's been in hot water. Kareem Hunt is proven to hit somebody. Mixon is on tape hitting a female. Like, this is happening at an all-time rate. And I just can't. I don't fathom it, because it would never have happened under my watch, or he wouldn't have been under my watch anymore. That's just what I don't understand. So I wish we'd just cut a dude. I wish we'd make an example, Jeff, one time. Just cut a dude. Like,
yeah, I think when you have years and years of you don't discipline people for their behavior, and you just let them live the life the way they want to live, and they do what they want to do, and they want to do it, this is what happens. You got to start policing this stuff in this league. And look, it's been a long time where they want, talent's more important. Winning games is more. And this is why when this stuff happens in high school and college, and you don't discipline these people for what they do, you think they're just going to switch it up? No, they're going to keep doing the same bad things they were doing. You got to set an example, and no one ever sets an example. I don't. You look at someone like Tyreek Hill, Joe Mixon. I mean, you don't do anything about anything. I mean, you just, again, go back to Brandon Miller. I'm just going to keep saying it. It's not like he just handed a gun off to a friend and then 24 hours later the guy used it. He literally used it as he handed a gun off, bro, essentially. You don't suspend him at least a game. Just, hey, bro, like, this is not what we stand for in this university. Like, I mean, it's not like it was a little thing and the guy used it to go target shooting. Like, it was in the middle of the night and a woman died. Like,
Jeff, I got old adage, man. You coach it or you allow it. There's no in between, dog. You coach it or you allow it. It happens in life every day. Like, is this your new house?
Say that again.
Are you at your new house?
No, I don't move in until May.
But I go back to coaching and allowing it. I asked that. I'm like, if you're broke, you don't close mortgage or you don't close escrow, and the broker or whoever you're using, the realtor, keeps telling you over and over and over, there's a hang up for this, and this, and you're like, well, everything's done on my end. It's now a one-sided event. It's you problem, and I'm going to get a new realtor or a broker or whatever. You coach it or allow it. You're either allowing to get screwed as the interest rates rise, or you're going to make a change and you're not going to purchase the house from this guy anymore or whatever it may be. Dog, it happens every day in the business world. Like, it happens every day. If you're the CEO and you allow your workers to be late every single day, eventually it's going to screw you and your business. But we don't correct it. It's like the dog pissing in the rug and you don't rub his nose in it right then and there. You can't rub his nose in it tomorrow, Jeff. He don't even know why you're rubbing his nose in it.
Now I go back to our first conversation we had, Coach, on this episode. Hasbullah. He's under the microscope for disciplining a cat for poor behavior. Now, let's say he doesn't do that. The cat's going to run outside again when he's not supposed to. You got to teach a cat. You have to teach a dog. You have to teach a person. You have to teach them right from wrong. Now, the difference between the cat and NFL players are they're grown men and know the difference between right and wrong and ethical and not ethical. And why do we have to continue to teach them this stuff? Listen, I just wish a lot of these guys would understand, like, I'm not an NFL player, but I know that, I don't know, I probably shouldn't go out at 4:00 in like a really bad neighborhood or any neighborhood drunk with my car. Like, I know I shouldn't do that. It's pretty simple.
I gotta get with before I let you go, I gotta get a Coach JB's top 10 from you. I want to get your take on the NFL's current top 10 quarterbacks. I don't know if you have them off your head, but I want to go through the top 10 guys in your opinion. I'm going to start at number 10 for me, and I'm going to put Geno Smith at number 10. I like what he did. I like what he did last year. He got a deal done. He got a contract. I like where he's headed. He had a first big year. He's 70% completion percentage. He led the NFL, 4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns passing, only 11 picks. Not only, but 30 to 11 is not bad. He did have 8 fumbles. I like where he's headed. I like the team. Kenneth Walker there, the running back for Seattle. I like what the direction they're headed in. He's got 2 big-time receivers to throw to. Hopefully they can draft one of these big-time tight ends because this might be the best tight end draft we'll ever see in football. History, it goes back to, Gronk, that class. So I'm curious to see what Seattle does to improve him. But I got to get him in my top 10 right now just due to the mediocrity of the NFL and the quarterback position, in my opinion. Number 9, we got guys that are out of the league now. Number 9, now this is projected for next year, Jeff. This is all I'm doing right now. I'm doing my top 10 projections just like I did my receivers based on what new team they're on, what the coordinator is, who the head coach is, what their surroundings are, the roster, everything like that. So that's what I'm doing, or based on how the season just ended. So that's how I'm kind of doing this. I'm going to have Aaron Rodgers in this because we don't know what the deal is. I don't know what his mental is, but obviously I think he's the best ball spinner in the NFL still. He would be number 1 for me. But I'm going to put him at number 9 right now just because we don't know what it is and where he's at. So that's kind of where I'm at with Aaron Rodgers. I got him at 9. I'm gonna bump up a guy that's very surprising who had a hell of a year last year. I'm gonna put Jared Goff at 8.
I was curious if you're gonna put him in.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Jared Goff at 8 right now. I think he's on the rise. He just has to show me that he has that it factor and can get over the hump and win a meaningful game. He did beat Green Bay at the end of the year, but he lost games that cost him playoffs. So I'm gonna put him in there. I'm gonna put Justin Herbert at 7. He's got to win a playoff game. He's got to get something done. He's a big time top 3 or 4 talent, but right now he's got to get a playoff win for me. And then right above him, I'm gonna put Josh Allen. At least he's won some playoff games, but he keeps avoiding the big one. He keeps choking in crunch time. But talent-wise, we know how good he is. And I'm going to bump somebody above him, man. I'm going to put Trevor Lawrence above Josh Allen. I think Trevor Lawrence is on the rise. I think he's going to have a hell of a year next year. He could be a top 3 guy, in my opinion. So I like him a lot. I'm going to put Jalen Hurts right above him for right now just because he went to the Super Bowl and he did his thing. He'll probably get a big contract extension here. They're going to have to pay him. So that's just kind of where I put him right now. And then I got to move up. I got to have, as you know, I'm going to put Joe Burrow, and then Mahomes beat him this year. I usually have Burrow at 1. I think Burrow still is the best pure passer in the NFL, but Mahomes got the Super Bowl, his 3rd appearance. Joe Burrow's got to go get him a Super Bowl. But right now, Mahomes is probably the best because he won the Super Bowl. Even though I don't think he's as good as Burrow as an NFL overall quarterback, I think he is proven that he's a winner, and he's got 2 Super Bowls. So you can't knock that. And he got it done against a good Eagles team. So, goddamn. So that's my guys. I don't know who yours is. I kept two out. I kept Prescott out. Brady's gone. I got Justin Fields on the rise. It depends on where Lamar is. Kyler Murray's not even in my mix.
What about Tua?
I kept Tua out. I kept Daniel Jones out. I kept Kirk Cousins on the out, right on the fringe. Derek Carr never. Matthew Stafford would be in my top 10, but I do not know where he's at physically. The Rams wouldn't be trying to shop him to the Jets if he was fully healthy, in my opinion. I think Matthew Stafford is right behind Aaron Rodgers as far as a ball spinner in this league. I think Jared Goff is also a top 3 ball spinner in the league, but that doesn't mean they're the top 3 quarterback. But I do love Stafford. I just don't know, Tommy John. I mean, all these different things he's having done. I don't know where he's going to end up.
What about Mac Jones?
Mac's not elite. I don't believe he's elite at all. The other guys that could creep in are Russell Wilson because he is an MVP type of guy. He's won Super Bowls. He's been to 2. Deshaun Watson is extreme talent, but I just have character flaws with him, and I just didn't think that mentally he's tough enough to overcome all the cases and charges and allegations. Not charges, but allegations. I didn't think he was mentally tough enough to overcome that, which has proven me right. He did not. He was horrible looking. I would have kept Brissett in there. And the young and upcoming guys, man, I don't know where they are. Like the Taylor Heineke's and the Davis Mills and the Zach Wilsons, the Mormon MILF Hunter. I don't know if he'll be back. If Aaron Rodgers goes, can he get better watching Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Mac Jones struggled mildly because of Matt Patricia being the play caller, in my opinion, which is a defensive guy. I was blown away by that move by Belichick. I think Sam Darnold, though, is going to be the starter for the 49ers, and I think he has a resurgence. See, a top 10 guy? No, but does he have a better year? I think he does. Derek Carr, he could be a top 15 guy, in my opinion. Can he do something in New Orleans? Kenny Pickett, to me, is still under – I haven't seen enough of him. I don't think he's a guy to carry a franchise. I equate him to Mac Jones in New England. I think they're very similar teams with similar skill set around them. I don't think he's talented enough to overcome any of that. Daniel Jones, he keeps climbing. I think him and Kirk Cousins are right on the fringe of a top 10 because of Kirk Cousins' consistency year in and year out, but he does choke in big games similar to what Jared Goff does. So if you listen to me talk, dog, I'm not high on quarterbacks in the NFL. They're just mediocre to me.
I mean, I think the one thing I would probably say is, I think your list was good. I'd probably put Tua Tagovailoa in the top 10. I mean, his numbers were good. I mean, he has a couple of great receivers. Look, the problem with him is obviously staying healthy. I mean, he's constantly injured.
That's like your debate yesterday about Zion. Like, if you're not available, I can't put my livelihood on the line for it. Like, I can't put you in anything if you're not available.
And that was always the problem with Wentz, as I said. He had talent probably, but he just could never stay in there and be healthy. And that's problem with a lot of people's careers. They never ultimately get this, the ability because they're never in there.
So what's off the rip, what's your top 10? Do you have a top 10?
I mean, I'll go Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow, Allen, Herbert. I mean, listen, Aaron Rodgers is still a great quarterback. Regardless of what team he's on, he still gives you generally a terrific game. And he needs to obviously be there head-wise. I'll throw him in there. Obviously, I think Tua's in there. I think your Goff one was good. I think, Goff got a bad rap in the first year or two, but ultimately seems like he's settling in when you give a quarterback some receivers or two, and they're going to get better, And also, Eugenio Smith, what a resurrection of a career, He was a nobody, nothing. He continues to be around a good coach, get the right receivers in there. You get a tight end, as you said, good offensive line. I think
this is my projection. So, I don't think. So you had Jalen Hurts over Burrow. Interesting.
Well, I think the ability he has with his legs. He only threw 6 interceptions all season. I think. I guess the question is: would you rather have Jamar Chase and Higgins or Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard. You know, I'm sure the Eagles again. You know who I like Tank Dell to go to? Philadelphia Eagles. I think they could use him tremendously in the slot.
Yeah.
He could be what, Jalen, that punk Jalen Reagor wasn't. I think I missed one. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence. I think I missed
one. Herbert in there?
Yeah, Herbert. Lawrence. They're kind of in like the 5-6 range. Yeah.
No, I agree. All right, so weekend's coming, man. I'm gonna smoke some food, some meat. We're gonna have a poker party. I'm gonna do it on Patreon Live, I think. Final Four tomorrow. What's the odds of it being an all Florida final?
I think it'll be quite low that it's an all Florida final. But then again, there's only 4 teams left. Do I think Miami could ultimately beat UConn? I think they can. Do I think they will? No. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, fun game, back and forth. You give UConn all that time to prepare with the length they have. I think they ultimately beat Miami. I think San Diego State, I think that's a low-scoring rock fight, and I think San Diego State, again, I mean, you look at it in this tournament, Coach, no one shot the ball well against San Diego State. Do I think FAU can? I think they can, but will they? No. I think ultimately the length is too much. I think it's San Diego State, UConn in the final, and I think we'll go from there on Monday.
I think the winner of the San Diego State Florida Atlantic game is going to win the title. I just have a gut feeling.
Let me ask you something real quick. It was reported last night that the coach at Florida Atlantic, Dusty May, is going to sign an extension at FAU. And they're going to put $10 million into the athletic facilities and that sort of thing. Shout out to him. Okay? Because he could go to a better school, right? And I love FAU. I think they're going to be just as good next year. They bring back virtually everybody. You know, and this is the thing, D. Jones. Who doubted them? There's 4 teams left. I got to make a prediction. I love FAU. I've carried the water all year for that team. I got to pick on somebody. I'm not doubting them, no.
Yeah, you got to pick a pick. What do you mean? We're not going to – who's picked Florida Atlantic to win it all?
And not for nothing. I can't pick – like, I know I'm not going to make everyone happy, but, like, I don't doubt FAU. I just think when it comes down to it, I think SDSU's length is a little bit more bothersome to me, and I think they win. But, FAU winning would be cool. I don't doubt them. Who doubted them? You got to pick somebody. I can't say I think both are going to win.
I know.
You know, let me tell you something about fans. Fandom sometimes can be the worst. Like I get you're a fan of the team. I don't have any issue with your team, though. I just don't think they're going to beat a certain team. That's all.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like
I don't hate your team. You know?
I literally have DMs from guys that said, "Coach, you were my mentor and my favorite. Now I hope you die."
Oh no. Because you don't like their team, right?
Dog, it blows my mind how soft these cats are. It really does. It's like, God damn. I appreciate you watching the show, but damn, dog, you gotta get a life. 49ers, if you had to bet your house on it, Brock Purdy the starter, or is it Trey Lance, or is it Sam Darnold?
I'll go Purdy. I mean, I think Purdy in the end, like, healthy was a pretty good option for them. He, took them into the playoffs, did a good job. I mean, there was talk, that one game he had, who was it against? I'm trying to remember. He had a great game. I mean, it was, I think you got to go with him. I think it's a closely contested battle in training camp. Lance, is he going to fall into one of those kind of levels where he's just, we hear how great he is, but he never actually ends up being good on the field when it matters most? Yeah, I think it's Purdy.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. It depends on his rehab. I don't know if he'll be healthy in the next 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'll be fully ready to go. I think Sam Darnold's going to win it, not by default, but I think Trey Lance, I believe, in my opinion, they're going to have to move him. He's a guy that hasn't played, Jeff. Nobody knows what the hell he is. Like, he didn't even play his last year in college. Like, what are we doing with this cat?
Yeah, they're gonna have to probably move somebody at some point. They're gonna get to the point where they have 2 guys that they're not using. Real quick, before I let you go, D. Jones says you said the same thing on 10. Yeah, but remember also, D. Jones, on this exact show, I said they would beat Memphis. Guy, again, I don't get every prediction right, D. Jones. I'm sorry. I cannot 100% gambler. I promise you.
No doubt.
I was the first person that they beat Memphis. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, no doubt. And you're like me. We always say before I let you go, is Bill Belichick overrated?
Yes.
Ooh, hot take, dog.
He's a great coach because he had Tom Brady. What is he without Tom Brady?
Okay, so hold on. It goes back to, I've been saying this for a long time. I said coaching is overrated. Players win games. Coaches lose them.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying this for a long, long time. I said it on Netflix. I've said it forever. And it's starting to look like that's the case in this regard.
But
he has not won a playoff game in 9 years.
And ask yourself this. Remember, after Tom Brady, look at what he's been. And what was he before Tom Brady? A nobody as well. Okay. He was only a somebody. Just being real. It's fact. It's not my opinion. It's fact. Go look. He hit the lottery. Tom Brady was great, and he pulled some strings.
Hey, here's my thing about Lamar Jackson wanting to go to New England. Dog, Belichick failed Cam Newton in New England. What style of player is Lamar? He's closer skill set to Cam Newton than he is Tom Brady. I would be more amped to stay away from New England if I was Lamar Jackson compared to trying to go there when you already had a guy fail Cam Newton. So you got to look at little things like that because I'm like, dog, he has Mac Jones for a reason because it's a Tom Brady style of guy. It's not Lamar Jackson style. I would stay away if I was Lamar Jackson. I would not want to go to New England. And then you got guys on social media telling Lamar, you don't want to be part of this, dog. And these are ex-players. Like, ex-players have come out. And I'm like, damn, really throwing hate on a guy who drafted a guy. That's the part I hate. I forgot who it was. It was the corner. He's got the son in the league right now. Played for the Samuel. Samuel came out and tweeted at him and said, you don't want to play for Belichick. And I'm like, Belichick drafted you, Asante Samuel. You were a 2-time Super Bowl champ under him. And I think you won the AFC like 9 times under him. And I think you're a Pro Bowler. And I think you got 2 big bags under the. I'm like, now you throw him under the bus? That's why I hate social media. I think it's just cowardly. And I think these cats come after guys after the fact.
Well, it gives people the ability to say whatever the hell it is they think they want to say, and they think they can just get off and say what they want because they're behind a computer. You know, a show I wanted to do forever, and I'm trying to put it together because I think it would be fascinating. I want to put together a catfish type of show where we go and find the worst of the worst trolls, and we out them for the scumbag, lowlife, depraved people they are.
Hey, hold on. See, I had this idea, too, that I did a sizzle. I submitted it to Netflix a while back called Rebuild. I was going to go into horrible programs and rebuild them and kind of show how to build a place. Well, I came up with this idea similar to what you just said. I came up with an idea that I was going to catfish myself. I was going to catfish recruits. So I was going to be myself, right? Coach JB. And I was going to hit up Jeff Nadu, the #1 kid in America, and get him to decommit from Alabama and commit to me at fucking Idaho. So I was going to go do that. But the more I thought about it is, so like, oh, Coach JB, I love you, dog. I'll come to Idaho, and I'll get a kid to decommit from somewhere big and show everybody that I could out-recruit your ass, number one. Number two, it would only last a year though, because everybody knows I was faking it the whole time, so I couldn't do 2 seasons of it. So that's why I was like, I got to come up with another plan. But if we threw the catfish, the trolls in there, now we got a show every year. Now we can go find these bottom feeders that I like to call them and go figure it out.
I like it. I'm in. I think that's a good idea. I think the bar rescue kind of show you're talking about, it's that program rescue is good. I like a Gordon Ramsay deal. I was going to go in and rebuild your bad program. Gordon, he's great.
He's worth like $1 billion.
He's hilarious.
Hey, I would love to do that. You imagine that? Like, you're filming us all day long. We found you. We found you, D. Jones. Your ass weighs 600 pounds. You suck on your mama's left titty, and you live in the basement. And we found you.
Well, listen, you don't want to, I found trolls before, you know, I have a good ability to find them. So,
hey, yeah, you can do URL checks now and all these algorithms and stuff. Like, you can find all this different stuff. And you'd be surprised. Me and Pat Perez ran across this cat who came and got our autograph and stuff. And he was like, man, I love you guys both together. We're at Scottsdale chilling. Live golf tournament starts today, by the way. You guys go watch Live. They're in Orlando. Dog, some dude sends us a tweet an hour later. And it's the same dude that just basically was on his knees in front of us. And he went on to Twitter and wrote a big old thing about how horrible humans we are. And the dude screenshotted the guy's face with his fake profile and sent it to us, told us who it was. And I was like, I knew it. I knew it's these cats. They're always the one in front of your face loving you, and then they go right to a burner and fake it. And
that's why, like, I don't give most of them, like, any sort of, like, I don't even, like, I just get rid of you. I don't even deal with them anymore. I barely even talk to these people anymore. Like, I don't even want to give them, like, cool, good for you, see ya. Like, I don't even care anymore. It's crazy, these people. A lot of them are nuts.
I don't either. 7 above, yes, we absolutely would do it. We'd call it the new catfish. I don't know what we'll call it. JB and Nate, and I don't know what we'd call it. Jeff and JB finding thee. I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
No, I would call it, if it's a troll show, I would call it on notice. You trolls are on notice.
On notice.
Yeah, and we're going to go. You're not sure. Who are you? You don't know who I am? Oh, you know who I am. You had all that stuff.
We'll get Hasbulla to come on.
He gets a lot of shit from people too. Yeah.
Man. Hey, man, it's always good. I appreciate you coming on for this long, man, and enjoy the Final Four.
Yeah.
Hey, you got any inside heat on Stormy Daniels and Trump? What's going on with there? Give us a real insight.
Well, I mean, say what you want about Trump, whether you like him or not. It is a phony indictment. I mean, I don't think Democrats wanted the indictment. I think there are a few people that wanted to. They think that this is going to uproot Donald Trump's presidency or go to become president. Listen, for all the problems that New York City has, it's a violent hellscape where you allow murderers to run the streets without any sort of conviction. Alvin Bragg has much bigger problems than this. You know, Alvin Bragg, you should see some of the cases he decides to bring to court and the ones that he doesn't decide to bring to court. It's truly fascinating. But you know what? You know what I think is going to happen here? I don't know about you, but like let's say you don't like, you like Trump. Is this going to make you not like Trump? I think this will make you like Trump even more. Like,
I do too. I think so too. Whitlock was on Carlson last night. I'm on Whitlock's show twice a week, and he's basically like starting to cry almost like, I don't vote for president. I'm going to vote now because of this.
Yeah.
Like, that's how.
And what they want out of this, and I've heard this said, they want the mugshot. They want to plaster that everywhere. Look, see, this is the guy. This is the scumbag. And it's like, well, yeah, but the case is weak as hell. Like,
the issue is, though, if a felony sticks, it keeps you from running. So, and this is the thing.
The case is weak.
I know, but we got guys that have misdemeanors. The worst case, and I'm not even a Trump guy, and I'm not a Biden guy. I find it hard to believe that our best we have in this country is 2 80-year-old derelicts running for president. But I gotta say though, like, don't you find it odd that they're gonna try to keep this guy from running? And why wouldn't you have charged him with a misdemeanor at least? You went after the felony for this thing. That just tells you a lot. We're trying to set a precedent in this thing.
I mean, Alvin Bragg is an ignoramus. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, this is this is a ploy to get him to not run. I think what it's going to do though is probably strengthen that candidacy a lot more. They're not gonna take it to court. They're not gonna convict him or anything. They want a perp walk. They want to, put his mug shot out there. They want to do all that stuff. Look, again, I'm not a huge Trump guy. I think he's funny at times, but do I think he's better than Biden? Yeah, I do. I do. I will say that. And they're not going to get him to prevent it from running either.
Yeah, Biden's struggling to walk. It blows my mind. I don't know. But anyway, I appreciate you, man. I'll see you next week. Let's do it again. And hopefully we can talk about the championship on Tuesday after Monday's game.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend, man.
All right, you too, brother. Take care. Make sure you guys following Jeff Nadu on Barstool. Appreciate him. Appreciate Patrick Queen, Baltimore Ravens starting linebacker. I appreciate Jeff Nadu, Barstool Sports. I appreciate everybody that comes on. Matt, Steve Kim, you name it. Short, fast, skinny, and tall. We do it all right here, live on the Coach JB Show. Pound the like button, subscribe, become a member of the Discord, Slap Nation. If you're not a member of this show, it's the best $1.99 you can spend. And make sure you come on over to our Patreon, the best content you can have. Once a month, $19.99. It's like $2 a day if you think about it. Go join today. And appreciate all you guys, man. And enjoy the weekend. If I don't see you, I'm sure you'll see me on Patreon. I'll be doing having a poker party with Lucy's favorite. Josh Fele, hit me up. Hector, hit me up. I appreciate you. And much love to everybody. And I'll see you guys Monday. Zach Smith will be back for Menace Monday. And we got a star-studded lineup next week as well. Appreciate all you guys, man. Much love. Pound the like button on your way out the door. And I'll see you on Patreon later on. Peace.